Hello, everybody, and welcome to all of you guys on this wonderful Wednesday night. Great to have all of you in here.
Is it Wednesday already? My God, is it this week and this day specifically have been flying by. It was like on a pause, and all of a sudden somebody put it fast forward, and all the hours just melted somewhere. And we're here.
You're on a roll tonight. You're going
Well, I'm trying to get the stuff together. I'm like,
That's
oh my God, I'm gonna be late. Everybody away, off my way. I'm running. And then I see myself in this slow motion run, like through the hallway of our apartment. Yeah.
That's
right in there, like till the last second, basically, till I go live today. Yeah, that was that was actually going on in my head as I'm going through, like getting to the seat here. Yeah, so I'm not just making it up; it actually goes on in my head. That's what Andrew has to live with every day of his life. Yes, that's right. We're a wife and husband team here.
Yes.
For those of you that are new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, great to have each and every one of you in here. Believe me, we cannot fake something like this. This is the real deal. We are the real couple of as real as it gets. So as real as it gets, and it's great to have such awesome people in here. I see so many highs, and it's so awesome to see each and every one of you guys. We usually wait about 3 minutes or so, 5 minutes. Give people a chance to come in, and then I'm going to shout out you guys' names because we appreciate having each and every one of you in here. So thank you so much for coming once again. And we got an awesome guest tonight. Really looking forward to it. We just recently met, a couple days ago. And we're going to have him on tonight. He's got a great story, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That was the whole thing when we started this, was kind of bringing all these different communities together and giving everybody a chance to meet each other. You know, you need your core. There's no way around it. That is so important. Is my name going to be right or wrong today?
We're going to put bets on that.
Little Llama Laura, you're going to have to tune in to find out.
Yes, and today's our guest is Moose Scraper or Scraper. How do you pronounce that right? Scraper, Moose Scraper. And he's going to have a whole bunch of tips of how to save money, how to earn more money, how to recycle, how to sell on eBay, how to use what you already have. Such a great topic, especially before Christmas when we all are busy gaining more things around us and then trying to get rid of all of them afterwards. This is the time to think beforehand. So it's going to be a great topic. And of course, we want to know more about him as well. So this is going to happen in around 15 minutes from now or so. So don't go anywhere.
I see Mark Corner here, and it's great to see you. And no, I did not get to do it. And the same for puberty. I didn't get to do that, even about the ingest server. Believe me when I'm not joking. Sometimes things can get really nuts in here, like every other family when you're not on. Tons of things, and we are just up to our throats lately, it seems like. Not a good answer. I wish I could get more, but I'm going to get to
excuses.
Exactly.
As always.
Welcome, James Webb.
Welcome,
James Webb. Great to have you in here. I just gave you a wrench. I'm not letting her finish that sentence.
Oh, no. We both have excuses.
Yes.
We both have excuses, and every time we started the stream, by the way, we're on 6 times a week. That's right. So 6 times a week, you get to hear our excuses. That's also to those that are new to our channel. Welcome. Wanted to remind you guys, if you missed yesterday's stream, we had Tuesday Tech Talk yesterday. It was really interesting conversation about YouTube ethics and live stream ethics, what not to do or what to do as a host and as a guest on somebody's live stream.
That's right.
It was a really interesting conversation, discussion, as it always is. It's not just us talking, but people in the chat are saying their opinions and asking questions as well. Was a great conversation about that. If you missed it, you can always go and check it out. There's a link in the chat. Of course, it's on our homepage and playlist as well.
Before you slide away, that was Mark Korn. Would you like me to do it? Actually, maybe we'll, if we can at some point, set up something we can talk about it for minutes. I'd like to pick your brain about a couple of things if you're ever interested into that. We can do like a private hangout or something like that. I'd really like to discuss it with you if you have the time sometime. That would be cool.
Also, for those of you that weren't here on Monday, I just wanted to re-announce our big announcement for the guest for next Wednesday. That's right, for 1 week from now. We are going to have a head writer for the TV show The Simpsons and Lego Star Wars movie writer, as well as a co-creator of a comedy show on Netflix. F is for Family. And his name is Michael
Price.
That's right. The Simpson writer Michael Price is going to be on our live next Wednesday. So if you know anybody that loves Simpsons, anybody in your family, small or big, you're more than welcome to join us next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, yes.
Like it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but you know.
It is.
Well, it's can't believe we're using it in the same sentence as us. So.
I know. If you watched our stream on Monday, you can see our jitters.
Yeah, a lot of people were commenting on it. We don't have a very good poker face as far as
as transparent as we could possibly be. Great guest all the time. Thank you. Yes. Tonight we have amazing guest Moose Scrapper, and on Friday we have amazing guest Sonny Greenwich, who is Canadian but currently living in Ireland, and he is a member of a 90s popular band Boot Sauce, Juno award-winning musician, still gigging all around UK and more. So that's going to be on Friday. Really excited. Really awesome guest. As always, we try to introduce you guys to a whole variety of creators all across the board, small or big, for motivation and inspiration for your creations.
Let's see. I just had to move some stuff here. There we go. Sorry. I didn't expect you. Oh, what happened to Fluffy, honey? Why didn't she get her? She has a wrench here.
It's her second
channel. Her second one. Oh, well, that one gets a wrench too then.
Yeah.
And we have J Ray FPV. Welcome. Great to have you in here. What a pleasure. We're going to have a great chat tonight. And tomorrow at 1 p.m., we're going to have channel shoutouts.
Yes,
European
that's right.
edition.
As always, Thursday afternoons or afternoons. Well, in Europe in afternoons, but Eastern, it's right after lunchtime, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're having European edition of Shoutout Game Night. Kind of the edition of what we have on Sunday nights on 7 p.m. We also have on Thursdays, especially for our European friends, but of course everybody is invited. Yeah. All our scheduling is in our About section if you get confused with everything that we're trying to tell you today. Hello and welcome everybody who's just joining us in. So good to see all of you who are coming back repeatedly, as well as the new friends coming and joining us. Welcome, welcome. If you're new, you're going to notice that everybody get...
Whoa. I'd like to welcome Taco Sticks.
Yes, hello. And I'm just giving him a blue wrench right now. I'd like to welcome you and say that blue wrenches here is not status, it is philosophy.
Yep. Welcome.
Good to see you all, guys. Yes. Eric, Matthew, Madro, YouTube, Larry Johnson, hello, Mukbang Sisters, of course, you Drone, Cerebral Killer, Jenny Maris. Andrew's going to do a roll call, as we always do, to see who you are there and saying hi to everybody. That's a chance. If you're here at the beginning of our show, you get a chance to be shouted out. That's what we do every time at the beginning, and now we started to do it on the dot of every hour as well. Yeah. So if you're here at the beginning or on the even hour, you get to be shouted out as well.
Just a way to say thank you to all you guys for taking your time out of the 1 billion plus channels, all the things that go on real life, and you guys chose to spend it with us. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I just spammed my own chat. Sorry about that second message. Let's remove that. God, I want to time myself out for 300 seconds.
Wanted to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe. If you are new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button somewhere there in the corner. Hit that like button and share to your friends, family, neighbors, as we always say. Knock on the door. Tell them the show is on. Come on and watch it with me.
That's right.
We do appreciate that. And of course, our selfies. Hashtag Blue Wrench Group. Our tradition every time. Take a selfie of you, or even better, of you watching our live stream and post it on social media with the hashtag Blue Wrench Group. And if it's on Twitter, we're going to be sharing it out on the screen. Great way for you to get some exposure as well. Hashtag Blue Wrench Group.
Guys, we're doing great. Tons of people in here already. You're going to have an excellent time tonight. Looking so forward to our guest. This is going to be really awesome. He'll be joining us in a few moments. a few minutes, I should say. Excuse me. Always lots of housekeeping to do first. Catch up with you guys. See how your days are going. Awesome channels in here, guys. I always say our main philosophy behind our channel is to bring all these great niches together so everybody can meet each other. I want you to always think of inside here like an amazing library with tons of books on everything under the sun. Please feel free to get to know people. Just remember to keep it a little on the down low so everybody still gets to enjoy the guests and stuff like that. We want him to feel as comfortable and as welcomed as possible. So we think of it like a comedy club, like I was saying last night. You know, you can, of course, it's normal to talk to the person beside you, introduce yourself, and feel free to do. Please, no asking for support. Instead, enjoy our guests and enjoy the people around you and show great respect. And I want to see all you guys rise to the top, the best you can be. You are an awesome group of YouTubers. So many channels. Yeah, I think it's time to soon shout them out. What do you think, hon?
I think so. I think it's time to do a roll call. And while Andrew does that, it's your time to fill up on coffee, go to the bathroom, hit that like button, share it out, and do a selfie, all in the span of 1 minute.
There you go. There you go.
Let's roll it.
All righty. You heard the lady, folks. Oh, that's too much echo. That's too much echo. We do it with echo for two reasons. One is we want to make you guys feel like you're in a stadium because you are all superstars.
And two, it's Andrew's favorite toy.
That's right. And three, when I mess up your names, which I'm famous for doing, you can at least have a chuckle that I did it like this. So it's a win-win for everybody. And I want to say a great big hello to U-Drone, XXX, Joanna XXX, Vanix, the cutting board. That's how I roll. Talking to spirits, laughing with ghosts, taco stacks, recycle dude, rebranding me, Rebel Rocker, Puberty, PSR Paranormal Pursuit, Pretty Apple, Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures, Nathan Likes Drum, Mummy Shell, Mukbang Sisters, MU Free Music for Your Videos, who is exclusive provider of our music for our live streams. Mike Dietrich is in here. We have Mahai Dev, Mark Korn, LV and Voy, welcome. Lunatic Ginger is here. Looney Circus, Little Llama Laura, I didn't mess it up. Larry Johnson's in the house. Josh Myers United, Jess K, Jenny Morris, James Webb, James S, Jackie Haru, J Ray FPV. Hey, it's Paige. Fox Runner 2049, Foulfish, Fluffy Honey Tina 2, Family Love Kitchen, Faith and Fallen. I hope you guys have recovered well from the earthquake. I hope all is well. Eric Matthew Woodrow YT, Elegant Homestead, Drew's Food Reviews, Disney World Adventures, Custom Carts, Sherry Awesome Sunset Travel, Cerebral Killer, Caribou Country Outdoors, Blue Phoenix Productions, Big Keg, Badger Farm Girl, AU Pack Mule, Arizona Timeless Tourist, Alex the Blue Man Reviews and Gamer, and then Ashel the Great. Welcome each and every one of you. If I missed you in the list, please say hi, highlight our name, and I'll definitely give you guys a big thank you for being here, as each and every one of you deserve.
And I wanted to say special hi to those that are listening to us on their headphones. Thank you for joining us. If you can say hi, please do so in the chat, and if you can't, that's okay too. Hope you enjoy your Wednesday evening or Thursday morning with us.
We have Rebranding Me. Oh, a pleasure is mine, Faith and Fallen. Just hope you guys are all good.
Blessed Intuitive Tarot, yes. Faith and Fallen. Thank you so much for your compliments earlier, by the way. Weekend Warrior Outdoors, hello, and Fox Runner 2049.
Said, Recycle Dude, I wasn't sure if you were in the list. A big howdy do to you, sir. The Early Kit Inn, welcome. Animaflex Animations, welcome. Ooh, we can't. Usually when they say they're a fan, they're not a fan.
Well, that's okay. Leave them on. We have a ton of mods here that I'm sure can take care of business. Carpenter Rick, hello. Welcome, everybody. Ray FPV, hello. Brandon Rush and Scraper Steve, hello.
Welcome, guys. Hello. Welcome. Great to have you in here. Let's get you guys a wrench. We can't have you walking around without any blue on. There you go.
Mommy Shell, puberty, of course. Push. yeah, guys. Well, we have fans everywhere, right?
That's
everybody
right.
has those.
Yeah.
Yes, today we are going to be joined by amazing person, a moose scrapper. That's right. That's the name of his channel, and we're so looking forward to his tips and tricks on saving money, recycling, and trying to make the best of what you already have. And guys, you would never guess what treasures your household already has. You never know.
That's right.
You never know.
That is true.
Yeah, so I hope
really
for the best tips.
I'm looking so forward to this. I always love finding new channels like this. To me, like, of course, he's been around. He's got almost 50,000 subscribers, guys. Of course. Yeah, so. Oh, we won't forget the selfies. You got my word onto it, little Llama Laura. That's okay, Cerebral Killer. No worries whatsoever. Not a problem. Not a problem.
And reminding you to hit that like button if you haven't yet. Just a reminder for you. And share if you can. And of course, if you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when we are on next time. By the way, we're on 6 times a day.
6 times a week.
We're on 6 times a week. 6 times a week from Sunday to Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, with exception from Thursday at 1 p.m.
Rebranding me, you have a great night. Time to shut down. I will see you next time. Leave me a comment. You take care. You have a really great night. Be well. Yes, yes, Mommy Shell is right. Yes, guys, please no asking for. We post it every 5 minutes. Please no self-promotion. Please no asking for support. If you want to meet somebody and tell them you like what they're doing and stuff like that, that's great. But please no self-promotion.
And especially in the interview nights where we are trying to get to know the person more, and out of respect for the guest, please don't do self-promotion during our shows right here. Just hanging around in the chat, I can guarantee you he's going to earn you some support as well. Just without asking, like magic. That's how it works.
That's right. That's 100%.
PSPR, hello. Good to see you. Custom cards. Hey.
That is true, Cerebral. That is true.
Exactly. Awesome. And if you want to grow your channel, you can always join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern when we play a shout-out game night and spin the wheel for exposure. And
there you don't have to promote either. There's just hanging out and getting to know people. Once again, it's always about that. So,
of course.
Now, you can promote on those selfies where we're putting up the link. Put a selfie of yourself watching us if you can't do the selfie of you, but take a minute and throw on some merch or stuff that you haven't. Good time to promote yourself in there. Lots of people see those pictures. This is a good time to show off what you got going. Like Dickie's Beer Reviews, he never misses those without putting on something first of his merch and that. And I mean, kudos to him. Very smart.
Yes, exactly. And I see that's how I roll is in as well.
Yes.
Welcome. Awesome, guys. And talking about merch, Aisha the Great, we do have merch as well. We completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We do have hashtag Blue Range Group merch available on a Teespring store from plain and simple blue collection of Blue Range Group to a little bit more sophisticated, more custom-made seamless pattern Blue Wrench. Wow, talking to spirits, laughing with ghosts. Thank you so much. You're amazing too. But right back at you. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for making our chat amazing by being here.
Thank you.
That was so kind.
This pattern is created especially for you guys. All that you can see is little blue wrenches on leggings, on socks, on shirts and stickers. And right here for your holiday shopping.
That's right.
There you go. The link is there. And of course, the link is in our About section and down in our description as well. Don't forget to check out our description of the videos every so often. We do make some changes there, add some links, add some more information as we go. It's always good to check up on that.
Lulu Love You's in here. How are you, Lulu Love You?
Hey, and Matt Kokorigan as well. Hello.
Oh, excellent. Great channels, guys. Great channel. Ashel the Great says, I need those leggings.
Ooh, yes, definitely.
They seem to be a big hit. I wasn't sure at first what they say, but there's a couple people buying them, and then I'm like, wow. PMDB Live, what's going on? Nice to see you in here.
Brandon Rush, if you can message me on Twitter, I would appreciate that, and we can talk more about it. All our social medias, once again, are available in About section as well as down below in the description. Trigger.
Nero's in here. I'm so all over the place. I feel like my mic is attacking me. I don't know what's going on. I can't seem to find a comfortable spot.
Well, maybe our guest here, Brandon Rush, in the chat can answer that. He's a paranormal expert.
There you go. So you never know. You never know. You never know.
Oh my, guys. Yeah. Yes, and we're gonna be inviting our guest really, really soon. Just in a couple of minutes' time. If you have your last-minute things to do, this is the time to do so. Excuse me. I'm trying not to sneeze at you in the microphone.
Well, I don't know. I think you pretty much nailed it.
Oh, my. Miss Ride or Die, hello. And Retired and Prepping, welcome back. Good to see you guys. Nice. Thank you so much. The Attack of the Microphones. That would be a great... you know what it would be great? It would be a great title for a podcast. The Attack of the Microphones.
Yeah, that would actually be. Wow, I'm sorry. I love my wife, but she's always brainstorming stuff like that. And you know, when you do a lot of them, there's going to be a lot of hmms. And that was really good. Yeah. I like that, actually.
Thank you. My grandfather was a noun, how you call it? Patents?
My God, he had a patent?
Yes.
Just hang around, folks, when we decide to get the word.
Inventor. You were supposed to guess this name. My grandfather was an inventor, and I think I have part of that in me, too.
Well, you got... Yeah? You got something in you.
Oh my. If we decide to use that for the title, definitely will credit you, Mark. That is very catchy, though.
Yeah.
Little Llama Laura is getting new mic for Christmas. That's awesome.
Nice.
Good to see that. I see you've been live streaming, but we have been so busy. We haven't had a chance to get to any much live streams as we would like to. Would we like to have a bullion?
Are you invested? Not at the moment in bouillon, no, but you never know what lies in the future.
I like bouillon with meat pie.
Oh my God. Oh, I knew it was going there. I knew it was going there. There, the early kid in said you have a cute sneeze.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely a girl sneeze. It was like, eek.
Oh, thank you. Bolta Bandit, hello, and Jomi, hello, MHAI Dev, hey. Good.
Did you enjoy my sleeping?
Yeah, I actually was a little bit worried. I even messaged your sister, but I'm glad it all got resolved. Yeah, Mark Horton was doing a 24-hour live stream.
Oh, I didn't know. See, that's why sometimes I watch something, sometimes Xenia watches something, so we're not always on the same page. So
I watched a little bit of you sleeping. Our son says that I'm creepy because I always take pictures of people sleeping, so me watching people sleeping wouldn't be any much different, I guess.
And once again, guys, we're on 6 nights a week. We have shout-out nights. We have Tech Talk Tuesday, where it's 3 hours just discussing YouTube as a whole, anything from shooting, tags, you name it. 3 hours of brainstorming together. We have these interviews 3 times a week, which are absolutely awesome from all spectrums of YouTube, small and big. Interesting people. That's what it comes down to. And, guys, yes, once again, don't forget, next Wednesday we have Michael Price, American writer and producer, best known for his Emmy Award and Writers Guild award-winning work on The Simpsons. He's a co-executive producer of Teacher's Pet on ABC, the Simpson movie he consulted on, and he has a hard job now working at Lucasfilm's Ranch on the acclaimed Lego Star Wars series. And yeah, another little side project of co-wrote and produced Bill Burr's F is for Family on Netflix. So I hope you guys can, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, I hope you can. There's going to be lots more great people down the road. And if you already have, I hope you will join us and enjoy all the great guests. As Zenny said, Friday night we have Sonny Greenwich Jr. is going to be absolutely awesome as well. We're going to have, we've even, guys, you can go back and look through some of the live streams, by the way. We keep forgetting to mention that. After they're up and processed, we go back and put the timestamp where the interview started. And we had some pretty interesting people this year. We've had Don Jameson, the host of That Metal Show on VH1, and an Emmy Award-winning host for Inside the NFL on HBO. We've had Doug TenNapel on, who is the creator of the famous, iconic video game Earthworm Jim. We've had people from all walks of life, and we'll continue to do so, but they make for great watches. And once again, right in the description at the top, you'll see the timestamp so you can get right into watching.
And the link to our season 2 is down below in the description, as well as it's featured on our homepage. Yes, it's our season 2 of Tube Talk. On season 1, we interviewed or chatted with almost, more than 60 people, more than 60 creators. And we're so excited to welcome more and more creators on our channel in season 2. Do you want to look at the selfies?
Let's look at the selfies.
Before we welcome our guest?
Yeah.
Hashtag Blue Range Brew, by the way. It's never too late to add your selfie to the collection.
Did you put up the link on?
Yes, I did, and I'm going to put out it one more time.
Perfect. Let me get these up here, guys. Let's take a look at all you beautiful people out there.
Rosorian Buck, season 1 guest. That's right.
Yes, that's right. How are you?
One. That's right.
Definitely. How are you, my friend? Great to have you in here. Awesome guy, musician. Great stories, and also he's a great creator. Like, he's got good videos. Like, he's avant-garde in that he's got that great.
He has a hidden talent that he doesn't want to show every time.
Exactly. I know, that's a good way of putting it. Isn't this amazing?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Guess what is coming out in spring 2019? I don't know.
There we go. We got Blackjack in here as well. Love how you're always there. Always love seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Looks awesome. Oh, I'm so bad at putting hearts.
I'm putting it afterwards.
I know you do.
Yes.
I know, but
He's dad. Hello. Oh, this is so cute. Little man is asleep. Aw.
What a hard life.
So cute.
What a hard life.
Kelsey Bernard Music. Hello.
Welcome. Great to have you back. Yeah.
Oh my.
Typical little Llama Laura. As typical as it gets. You were so funny.
Oh, you're so funny. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Always love seeing your photos. Thank you once again. Hey, there's a nice surprise.
Hey, guys. We missed your faces. Awesome.
Great to see you. And yes, we got to go over to the van. Isn't that so cool?
Oh, my God. This is amazing, guys. They purchased the Scooby-Doo van, the magic bus. It's something. It is magic. It is magic. It's amazing.
That is so cool.
So cool, guys.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Looking good, my
Dr.
friend.
Seuss. Wow.
That is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
It's so good to see you guys.
Always nice to have you guys in. Thank you so very much. Oh, DJ Southpaw. Look at that. In a word, I was a pioneer, and therefore had to blaze my own trail.
Awesome.
That is cool. I love it. Thank you so much. And guys, keep them coming. We will check back after to get a look at more of your awesome photos. Thank you so much for taking the time to do so. And I think it's just about time to bring our guests. What do you think?
Yes, I just wanted to remind guys, if you get booted out, refresh, close it, open it back up again. It's not you, it's not us, it's YouTube. We can see it fluctuating, going up and down. So if you get booted out, patience is our virtue. We hope you can get it back in. And I'm losing my voice again.
Yeah, I know.
All this week.
It's getting earlier. I'm worried about that.
And
oh my God! Hey, Joe is in the house.
Hey!
How are you? Hello, my friends. Missing you guys in the stream. Just popping in, but I know I'm missing you like crazy. I hope you get a free night sometime. Love having you in here, my friend.
And hey, Joey, you gotta book your night on Friday and book your night on Wednesday. Friday, we're gonna have Sonny Greenwich, popular band Boot Sauce member, Juno Ward, Canadian living in Ireland, and next Wednesday, Joey, especially for you announcement, we're going to have a head writer of the Simpsons TV show on, so you don't want to miss that.
Welcome, Queen Paula Banks. Great to have you in here. You're also busy, but many of us know each other. That's right. That's right. Welcome, Patsy. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good night. Nice to have you by to say hello. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. That's very true.
It is. It's a year. It's passing quickly.
Yeah, in February, it's going to be officially a year of us being active on YouTube.
That is
We were on YouTube a bit earlier than that, but I wouldn't call it active. Active being on there, but active creating and active building of the channel. Definitely in February, we're going to have to think of some kind of celebration for sure. Sure. Definitely. Vicky Carroll, hey, hello.
Yes.
Awesome to see you.
I'm going to send our good guest the link, and I think it's just about that time, guys. If you haven't in the meantime, if you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, tweet it out, DM a couple of friends, all that good stuff to come and hang out with an awesome guest, have great conversation, great company in the chat. We would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for coming tonight. It truly means a lot. You guys are the cream of the crop, and we're honored to have each and every one of you here. Let me see.
And just a reminder, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, please do so and share it out, of course. Let people know. Who doesn't want to save money? Everybody does. No matter how much you have it, you always want more. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And we always, most of us, always kind of grow around with things that we buy everywhere, that we collect, and then we don't know what to do with it. Well, you might be able to earn some more money with things that you already have in your house or just around in your neighborhood. You never know. So that's what we are trying to get to, the tips and tricks from our guest about earning and saving money, being on YouTube, being on eBay, recycling and scrapping, and earning money from things that you would never think of. Looking forward to our guest, and I think he is joining us just in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I think everything's good. Want to bring him on?
Yes, let's bring him on.
All right, guys, let's welcome our guest tonight, Moose Scrapper. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself?
Hi.
Couldn't be better. Great to have you in here. How are you? How's things going with you today?
Well, I'm pretty good, and I'm kind of glad that you guys had me on tonight, because I think a Juno Award-winning musician and a Simpsons writer is going to be a tough act to follow for a guy who takes stuff apart in his garage. So.
I don't know about that. I think that you have a lot to offer, and I'm actually very excited to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
And we just met recently. I just want to tell everybody, by thanks to actually in Recycle Dudes, was it? No, Skills.
Yep.
That's right. Yep. Sorry. I mixed the two of them up. I see them together. They're like Lenny and Squiggy. I can't see one without the other half the time. So I'm always mixing up the streams. They're two awesome guys. So, and yeah, like you have your channel, it was like pretty big, and you're so, they all talk about you so highly. Like that's one thing that I noticed right off the bat. Was the
I
respect.
swear I'm not paying them for that.
Well, whatever, you're really then getting a great deal out of them on that one, because they really genuinely do think a lot of you. Like I've never seen so many kind words just coming out. Like I love when I see somebody like that that's earned the respect of so many people. What do you think is your claim to fame to getting that from people? Because I know you have big numbers, and that's a great thing to have. But kind of respect from your community like that is a whole different ball game.
Right. I don't know if there's any one thing that I would attribute that to. I know that from the get-go, people, when I first started the channel, I got comments that people appreciated, that it was very simple to the point, and it's family friendly. I don't do anything like that in my videos. And, you know, I tried to point out safety. Granted, you know, when I'm making a video, I'm not always wearing the safety gear and stuff, because I've got to manage the camera and stuff. But yeah, I think starting off, that's really what got people to really like the channel.
I usually like that you can see us when we're talking. I think I'm going to shut down my video for a bit because your signal's coming in very weak. So I'm going to try to compensate for it a little bit. So I'm going to see if I shut off my video, might give yours a little more. Don't worry, I'm here, I promise. I'm smiling, and we'll keep talking this way. So you won't see me, but the people at home, will, maybe that'll help you a little bit more.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, it's very, I grew up actually in East, because you're in Maine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was double checking because I just thought of that now. I wrote in Maine. Did I spell? No, I didn't spell. Okay, yeah, I was just checking the spelling.
Portland.
Portland. I grew up in eastern Quebec, which is above New Brunswick, and then there's the Bay, there's Chaleur, and then Quebec, and that's where I'm from. So I passed through Maine numerous times. But there's a lot of symmetry in life there. And when I watch your videos, as I started going through them, it reminds me so much of where I grew up. I like how you do it. It's very in the shop, kind of just relaxed, not bringing all the bells and whistles, but a very honest approach to what you're doing. And I found that really refreshing to see. So,
thank you. Appreciate that. And I mean, I was raised in Fort Kent, so it's right on the border of New Brunswick. So
That's awesome. That's a nice. I used to drive truck through there. I used to spend a lot of my time in Dysarts in Bangor all the time. Everybody knows Dysarts.
Everybody knows Dysarts. There's a running joke that you can go to Dysarts at any point of the day, any day of the week, and you will run into someone that you know.
That I could see that. I could see that. Yes, it's a very friendly. It's the local area, and the people from out of town in the within this the sprawl of the area seem they always make a stop there when they're passing through. So, you grew up in Maine, right along the border. Did you? What was it like for you growing up there?
Well, it's a small town, so it was kind of boring. My father was a state trooper for most of my childhood, and then a U.S. Customs and Immigrations officer. So, I had to behave. So I didn't really do too many crazy fun things growing up. But otherwise, it was. I wouldn't trade it.
No,
I think I had it.
Well, it probably had a lot in shaping what you do today. Oh, are we losing?
So, I still got you.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting to break up a lot. I don't know if somebody maybe can. You might have your Wi-Fi getting pulled too much or something because you're kind of coming in and out.
Do you have the YouTube video running as well?
I just shut it down.
Oh.
Okay, that will probably help you some too. So.
Again, sorry about that.
Yes, we do apologize.
Not a problem. It's Maine, so the internet.
Oh, we understand. We understand completely. No problem. We're gonna make this work. Don't worry about that. So yeah, growing up, do you think it helped shape some of your interest in the scrappering and all that? Like kind of small town, resourceful, stuff like that?
I mean, I remember something to buy to earn money. I'd run out in the woods or hazelnuts or, find some way of making money, even when I was really, really young. So I always had that kind of mindset of finding value in things and not being afraid to go out there and do what it takes to make a few bucks.
Right. I'm not sure. We might have to try and hang up and call you back or something. We barely could even hear most of the last part that you said. I'm just trying to think of a way I can help you on my end. I hate to ask this. I don't want to cause family squabbles. Is there anybody at home that's on the web right now doing stuff?
No, I've asked them all to vacate.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to see what we can do with it. We'll try and run with it a little bit longer because, your signal's cutting. I'm watching the strength of it. And right now it's really good. And then it just seems to kind of bounce back and forth. So we might need you to repeat a couple of things now and then. So we're not busting your chops when we do it. So just in advance so you know.
That's right.
So yeah, you were talking about growing up. Sorry, I guess I'll have to get you to repeat that part because we couldn't get much of anything that you said.
Oops, sorry. So yeah, I mean, as a kid, whenever I needed money for something, I had the mindset of being able to, either go out and pick berries in the woods or hazelnuts or, whatever it took to, find something to sell. And I wasn't afraid to, hit neighbors up and say, here, I just picked a bag of hazelnuts, $5. So I was always had the mindset of if you need something, go make the money, find a way to do it.
I used to do the hazelnuts when I was young as well. That's why I was smiling here through it because, I think rural areas make you into an entrepreneur.
Yes, very much so.
And very resourceful as well, like you say.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed that more when I came to the city and met people my own age more. I could notice that a bit of difference sometimes. And not that there isn't people in the city, but it's just more widespread in those rural areas because there's not as much to go to in a pinch. So you kind of have to just learn to think on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you grow up in sort of like a farming area or was it like a small town?
Fort Kent's a fairly small town. There's a lot of potato farming that went on up there. It's one of the few places in the world where school starts 2 weeks earlier than most places. Right. And then you get a 2-week vacation for potato harvest.
Like Prince Edward Island is the same way as well. That's right. Yes, there's not many places that happens. Does that still go on to this day, by the way, as a side note?
It does. Not as much as it used to, but it does. Yep.
That's interesting, because that's what I was wondering if it was still... I mean, that's from years ago. I remember that when I was a truck driver. So, so did you work on farms and stuff like that? Did you do that kind of stuff?
Oh, I did my share of harvesting potatoes.
Can you eat them this day? Or
honestly, since I left Fort Kent, I moved down here when I was like 23. Yeah. I rarely ever eat potatoes anymore.
Yeah. A lot of people think of farms and say, oh, God, yeah, the smell of cow, you know what, and everything else. There's nothing worse than sticking your finger in a rotten potato during the harvest. I don't care what anybody says. I still get shivers. That thought still gives me shivers.
And when you're on the harvester, that's all you're doing is you're picking out rocks and rotten potatoes and throwing them over your shoulders, and it's that smell stays with you.
It's not for the faint of heart. I'm like that too, and my parents, it drives them crazy because when we go home, that's all they want to have is potatoes, and I'm like, oh, like they're the type, the older type, they want to have potatoes when they have French fries, you know, like they can't imagine a meal without. So. Like when you were around doing that, did you start getting into scrapping like to the farms and stuff like that? Because I mean, a lot of farmers are into that because they use it to get by fixing stuff on the fly and that, or is it something you just picked up on your own?
The whole scrapping thing, I only started 6 or 7 years ago, actually, living down here. It kind of started with an old computer that I had that the local dump wanted to charge me $10 to dispose of. And I thought that was kind of ridiculous. So I started looking around and found some things online and found a YouTube video that said, hey, there's gold in computers.
Right.
So that kind of sparked my interest in it. And then my wife at the time decided to stop working. So I needed to come up with some extra income. So I kicked it into high gear. And that's really what got me into scrapping all kinds of different things.
Right.
And as far as the YouTube channel, there were a lot of videos that I found didn't have like the information that I was looking for.
Right.
Or I had to look at several different places to put one picture together. So my first videos were my attempt at taking a whole bunch of information from different sources and putting it together into one place so that someone could just watch that one video and have everything that they needed.
I love that analogy because that happens so often. That is one of the most frustrating things on YouTube. There's so much information, but you got to go through 27 different videos to connect it all together.
Yep.
And I mean, YouTube channels are kind of like inventions in their own. It's kind of like seeing a market for something that's missing in there and fulfilling it. And you had the site for it. And did you had you ever been in front of the camera before? Was like anything like that? No.
A couple of times, like when I was much younger.
Really?
Yeah, I have an uncle in Fort Kent who owned a dish network.
Oh.
Distributor.
Right.
He installed dishes, and he had me shoot a couple of commercials for the local TV station a couple of times, but that was it.
Wow, that's kind of an interesting opportunity for back then when everything wasn't so available to do things like that. You know, that's an interesting entry into it. So,
yep.
Did you like it when you were doing it?
No. It's surprisingly, I'm really not a fan of the camera. I mean, all of my videos that I have almost 250 videos now.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still have a hard time, if it's even possible, for me to film with anyone else in the room.
Right.
Oh.
I can't do it. It's like, what am I doing? Why am I in front of this freaking camera?
I kind of get that with you. That's like me with playing guitar. I find it hard to play in front of anybody. And Xenia wants me to play, and I don't play much anymore. But I find it so hard. I just want to, if I'm playing, I just want to be alone. And as soon as somebody walks in, I'm like a baby that's learning how to walk. You're great until you learn. You realize you're walking, and then you fall. So yeah, I can side with you.
Exactly what you're saying.
So
exactly.
I'm glad to have a camaraderie with you on that. So, but I think you're quite good at it. I mean, whatever way formula you found to do it, I think once again, I feel that you really connect with your audience. And I believe that's so important to do something that's going to connect with your target audience. And you really do. I think they really feel at home in your shop with you. Your videos are inviting that way. They're not in your face. They're not overly production to the point they would look like a Bob Vila segment.
Right.
They're just like, I'm working on this. Oh,
a lot of people have commented on that over the years, like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you have like a better intro? And it's just not me. I mean,
right.
I feel that in my videos, if I'm not genuine and if I'm not me, it's going to come out. And there were a couple of years in there where I tried being more of a, I guess, commercial kind of thing,
like a personality,
right? And it didn't work out, and it didn't feel right, so I just stopped. So I came back to the simple. This is who I am. This is what I'm taking down. This is what you're going to get, Thanks for watching.
That's really good advice, actually.
The next one.
I love that advice because that's what I'm always saying. You have to make it your own, and you also sometimes have to look in the mirror and say when something's not working. And it's sometimes a hard pill to swallow, but that's the same as kind of when you're have your own business or anything. You know, sometimes you have to sit down and say, yeah, this isn't quite what I was expecting. So hats off to you for seeing that, you know.
And my motivations at that time were different. I mean, started off, I had one motivation of trying to be helpful. And then for a little while, I was, kind of in the process of a divorce. So it was more of like, okay, I need to make more money.
Right.
So my motivation towards the videos was just to generate revenue. And my channel actually hurt because of it.
Yep.
So it took me a little while, and it wasn't until, really until just this year where I started, getting back into it, with me, not just doing it for.
Well, that's a very good point. And I think that's why they respect you so much for it, because they feel that connection with you. And that's the number one thing, is to connect with your audience. And I think that you've done in droves. So that's way more important than pretty pictures and everything, is to have a relationship with who's watching you. And they really seem to gravitate to you. They really respect your word on it. And that's also a great quality to have. That's a hard thing to get with people sometimes. That you got.
And it still surprises me sometimes because, I try and, reiterate as often as I can that, look, I'm not a professional. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still trying to figure out, and people still, I have videos where like, okay, this is a failed experiment, but here's what I did. And people still love it. So it's like, okay.
Well, they do, because, they have failed experiments in what they're doing as well if they're following you. And nobody wants to feel alone, and nobody wants to have kind of a superiority complex hanging over them. And that you're keeping, I think it's amazing. It's,
thank you.
I always bring up the example, like when you go into a store, have you ever had that? And you ask somebody, I need this. And he says, well, I don't carry that, or that's not my expertise, but there's a guy here, I'll give him a call and let you know you're coming. And he's going to probably have it. He didn't get a sale that day, but he's won your respect for life.
Right.
Than being lied to, And what you're giving them is honesty. So what's some of your favorite projects you've worked on too?
With just the Moose Scrapper channel, or in general?
Yeah, we can start with the Moose Scrapper channel.
Well, my favorite projects with the Moose Scrapper channel have been like the gold recovery. That whole thing I find completely fascinating.
Right.
Precious metals are everywhere. People throw it out, and they don't realize it. Granted, it takes a lot of material to make really anything.
Right.
But I find the whole process, the science behind it, completely fascinating. So as far as the Moose Scrapper channel goes, I would say that with my other channels, I've got like kind of two different themes. The Moose Scrapper is, how to money, and then DIY Daddy channels, how to save money.
Right, exactly. We can talk. We only listed it because we just try to get one because it's easier. But we can also talk about your other channel as well. Feel free to.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, not at all. No apologies necessary. But yeah, you can definitely talk about both of them. We're talking about you tonight. We're celebrating you, so these are part of you. So, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your other channel?
Well, the DIY Daddy channel, it's, I'm a single parent, so a lot of stuff in order to save money, I figure out, and plus being from up north, being resourceful.
Yeah.
It's just things that I do on my own, and, if I can figure out something, why not share it with everyone else on YouTube? It's free information, which is great. And, if I can help someone else save, a few bucks, that makes me feel better. It's like when I first got this house a couple of years ago, there's some things that need to be built, like this corner unit that I'm talking to you on right now. So I figured, I got to make it. Why not make a video about it? Exactly. And it's things that I enjoy doing, things that like interests that I developed, like recycling pallet wood. That really sparked my interest. So I figured, well, I'm interested in it. I'm excited about it. Why not make videos about it and see if I can get other people interested and excited about it? And they are. So it's like a win for everyone.
That's very cool. And that's it. That's the thing about, especially in the line that you're into, anything you're doing can be a video. Right. So you're doing it anyway. So why not do the two birds, one stone? So I think that's really awesome for that. And I'm going to ask you right away about pallet wood. because that's something I'm considering for our house that we got. Have you used it for finishing? Is that what you're talking about with recycling pallet wood, or is it for just other uses?
So far, I've used it for all kinds of projects. I mean, all of my raised garden beds are made out of pallet wood. I've made wine racks. I've made all kinds of things.
I'm looking at maybe at a wall.
All right.
In our living room. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you could give me any advice onto it.
When you're picking up pallets, if you're going to do a wall, bring a tape measure with you. That way you can check the thickness of the boards. Because when you're making a wall, it's kind of nice to have it all pretty much the same thickness.
Yep.
But, I mean, any pallet will do. I mean, pallets come in different wood types, different colors. Sometimes it's nice to have the ones with that little gray, weathered look on it.
Yeah.
To like alternate around the wall. But really, I mean, it's so simple.
I was kind of thinking doing the varied depth, the varied thickness into it. So, it'd have kind of like a broken, more mix matched look to it. Mm-hmm. And the wood, are you running it then through a planer first before it goes up? Or are you taking it off or keeping it like that and just sealing it after? Or?
If you run it through a planer, you take off any like weathered patina it might have.
Yes.
I don't run anything through a planer.
Right.
I just use it as is. And I mean, these boards they're like usually lumber mill leftovers.
Yeah.
So there's usually one side that's planed anyway.
Right. That's true.
So, I mean, I guess the biggest tip that I would have is when you're removing the boards from the pallet, it's best to use like a Sawzall to cut the needles right down the side so you don't crack the boards or break them up.
Okay.
That way you have more material to work with. You don't have to go chasing as many pallets.
That's a very good point. I appreciate that because that's something I was looking at this summer, kind of thinking about. So, and where are you sourcing a lot of your pallets from? Right?
Down the street, anywhere. I mean,
wherever you see them, you grab them.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of them.
No. I work in Portland, and you see them all over the place. There's Craigslist; they have ads every day. Free pallets, come get them.
Oh, wow.
That makes it easier.
I think it is, especially lately, it has been a big spurge of people making furniture, especially like hipster generation, so to say. They make like everything out of it. Tables, chairs, stands, even like a bookcases. Nobody keeps books anymore, but the bookcases and so on. And some of that stuff like that I'm looking at is like, wow, really? Like you can't even guess what it's made of. It's amazing what we can do with repurposing things.
So I don't know if you can see this, but that is a treasure chest that I made for my daughter out of pallet wood.
Wow, that's amazing.
What a beautiful job.
Wow.
And this is a standing beer cooler made out of pallet wood.
Ooh, wow.
Nice. That is really nice.
You can make anything out of it.
Yes.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of woodwork. And why not? I mean, it's good wood. I mean, you have hardwood pallets as well you can get if you need more sturdy. And it's already there and ready for the using. So, and it has such a nice look to it. Something else we've been looking at, we have some property left over in Latvia. And we've been considering eventually maybe putting up a container home there. That's kind of a project I've always wanted to do. And I guess it's kind of like the ultimate repurposing, I guess, is to use 40-foot containers put together to make a home. But I've always been intrigued by it, and I would want to keep the original flooring into it. I would want to keep that, that worked hardwood and stuff like that. Is that something you would ever interest you like that, or you've watched or know about for container homes?
Oh, yeah. I've seen container homes, and some of them are, they're spectacular.
Yeah.
When they're done, a lot of them don't look like containers anymore.
Exactly.
But I've seen like multi-level units and just like like mobile offices that have been made out of a storage container. That beautiful glass walls, sliding doors, the inside, you could never tell. They're done and it's really not that hard from what I understand. Doing the inside anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Making the outside up, I don't know how to weld or anything like that, but and storage containers are fairly inexpensive as well.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Compared to the lumber.
Yep. I mean, they're halfway around the world a dozen times before they sell them. So, you know, I would actually want them to look more like the containers. I would rather keep them more true to state. I'd like the corrugated sides and stuff like that. And I was watching some in Australia where they have like the warmer seasons that they have that nice glass fronts all into them. These beautiful big opening side doors are all glass. And I don't know. I just find it such a kind of. I always liked Lego as a kid, and I think it's like the ultimate Lego set. You know, you want another room, add another block. You know. In Montreal, here at the city port, all the vending places, even where they sell the tickets for the boat rides, that are all 20-foot containers, and then they just contract them out. People can use them, and then they turn them into little storefronts selling on the. And it blends in with the look of the place. You know. So
must be cool.
Yeah,
so
I thought it was really
shipping container storefronts.
Yep, that's right. Yep, because they have like what they call the old port, which is now more the scenic side, and then they have the actual port down further. So they just put them in, and it kind of blends it in more with the surrounding scenery. So
cool.
Yep, there's a use for anything. That's one thing we've learned. I'm sure you can tell that to anybody more. So, what is other things that you really like to repurpose? What's other things that you find that got so many uses into them?
Well, as far as repurposing, most of the stuff that I repurpose for myself is the wood stuff.
Right.
Everything else, it's either stuff that I recycle or use parts and sell the parts on eBay for extra income, and to make sure that doesn't go into a landfill unnecessarily. Right. But I mean, a lot of times, I don't know how many scrappers are actually watching this live stream, but a lot of times you get called to pick up a load of scrap from someone, and there'll be a whole variety of things. A lot of the stuff in my backyard is stuff that I've reused that someone else was throwing out. Right. Wire caging, even the loop for my garden hose. So all these things, it's just stuff that someone else is going to chuck. So I reuse it. If I need to, I clean it up, repaint it, whatever. So keeping that out of the landfill, repurposing that's pretty much all I do as far as that. I'm not really good with, rearranging metal or making it take different shapes. I don't weld or do anything like that. So, I don't repurpose a whole lot of that kind of scrap stuff.
Right, but woodworking, working with wood and that's more where your trade is if you're going to modify something. We inherited a house and we had to get rid of 11 truckloads of stuff this summer, and I think it's somebody like you would have been in heaven.
Oh my!
We live further enough away from it. That's where I grew up, and my father's old. He can't look after it, and it was too much. But I gave it to a guy who agreed to take all the junk plus, I gave him decent stuff too. I mean, not worth millions, but because you can't I didn't want to ask him just come get my garbage and nothing else. But he does a lot of garage sales and stuff like that, and he'll get use out of it. It saved me from getting a container and dumping everything in a dump.
Right.
So even though I didn't have the time or the possibilities to work with it right now, he'll do that. So, it was kind of passing along. And a couple older guys are like, "Whoa, you're crazy. You could have a garage sale and make a fortune." I'm like, I'm not home long enough to be able to have a proper one. And I think, small towns right now, if you inherit something, nobody wants to buy it from you because their first thought is, he got it for nothing, so I want it for nothing.
Right.
So, and a container is $500-$600 to rent and go and that. So here, you take it. He took everything. He even swept the yard for me with the rake. There was nothing left behind.
Everybody wins.
Exactly. And somebody said to me, "Oh, well, what happens if he comes back and says he made $1,000?" I'm glad.
Right.
He earned it. It's there for him, and
so you were going to have to spend that $1,000 anyway.
That's right, 100%.
Dumpster for the removal of it, to pay people to come in and help out.
Yep, that's right. It would have been just nothing but cost. So I was happy with that. So it was same as our kids. And now it's getting to Christmas. Every year we get them to donate stuff. You're getting something new. You got to get rid of something. I don't like a house full of clutter.
Right.
And there's lots of kids that don't have. So it's better. You're not having like a room looking like a toy store. There's other kids who really need stuff too. So, all of our clothes go to Goodwill. That's a big thing too. And Xenia's big on too. I am
I just wanted to read. That's how Raul said that his greatest scrap was a bathroom faucet that was thrown out in an original box with a lifetime warranty. So he called the manufacturer, and they replaced it with a new $400 faucet.
Perfect.
That's very
That's
witty.
smart.
Yes, love that.
That's very good.
Wow.
We got rid of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's a lot of people who just don't. Yeah, they can't be bothered to take the time to do stuff like that, or they just don't know that they can.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Someone has the time or has the knowledge to do that. Why not let them?
Well, yeah, I agree. That's a great point too. You why not let them is exactly it. So, this year we got rid of some IKEA dressers that we had, and we were going to take them and get them away or give them. And then we remembered that there was a recall on them for the last 2 years. So we took them up, and they gave us the price of a brand new one in refund. It was $171 for a 10-year-old dresser that's like painted. We painted the kids' room. It's like
and I was kind of wary that they would take back the repainted ones, because we repainted them black, you know, like with the spray paint, and so they looked nothing like original. But they took them back anyways, and gave the price for the new one back. It was like, yay, you get furniture completely free, and get to replace all your furniture in the house. That's amazing.
And be free.
Yes, well, free, exactly. Nothing can beat free, that's for sure.
The king says at my work, I'm over the scrap. We call someone to pick it up. I load up about 20K every 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. What have been your biggest find, like, in doing treasure hunting?
So some of my biggest and like most interesting finds have actually not even been scrap metal. There was one thing that I found years ago. It was just a round piece of plastic that someone had been using for an ashtray that said B-17 Flying Fortress on the top.
Okay.
And I just thought it was an ashtray, but I did a little research, and turns out it was actually the plastic piece that went on the yoke of an actual B-17 from like World War II or something.
Wow.
And I posted that on eBay, and within like an hour, I was getting offers of like $400 and $500. So I was like, sweet.
Wow. But you see,
amazing.
like most of people would be just throwing it out probably, and would never even have a second thought of what is it, or even researching that. But that's amazing. Wow.
That's incredible.
A lot of people don't know how to research, the value of things, which it's not that difficult to do. And once you learn how to do it, it's, you'd be surprised at what people throw out and what you might even have in your own house that you think is junk, but might be worth something to someone else.
Well, this is the part that interests me. So, like everybody does, acquire a lot of things through their lifetime, and especially around Christmas and holidays time. And people get gifts that they don't really use. They also buy stuff, and it just sits there. But in general, for somebody that like decides that, okay, I want to get kind of scale it down a bit, but I want to see what do I have. Like, what would be the suggestions from you, like, or tips, so to say, like how to approach your household? Because when we do live within it, we kind of, we get used to things. We don't really see the value in them. It all kind of looks the same, as it would be different for somebody else coming in from the side. But how to approach that? How to start? Like where to look at? What is the best place?
I mean, I would say, take a weekend day, take a couple hours on a weekend day, and look around your house at things that you haven't used in 6 months or a year, or stuff that that you will never use or don't want anymore. Put it aside, and then just pull up your laptop or your phone even, and just type in the model number or what the item is, and see. You can limit your search or refine your search on eBay to sold listings, so you can see what people are actually paying for these items and figure out, well, is it worth it for me to post something on eBay for $10 or send it to Goodwill and get the $10 tax write-off? Make a cutoff point. If it's worth more than $50, I'll post it on eBay and go from there. But it takes so little time to just stop and look around. Just do one room at a time if you want, and look around and say, okay, well, that VCR hasn't been used since VHS was popular. But there's a market for them. People actually still want them. People are paying upwards of $200 for certain VCRs. So it's amazing how some things.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's some VCRs that not all of them. there are some cheap VCRs that people don't want.
Right.
But there are something, you just enter, the brand, the model number, and you can find, exactly what your item is worth.
Wow.
That's interesting. Who was saying it?
Is there a special databases that has where to look at, or you just Google it basically?
I just use eBay.
Oh, on eBay. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And how about the shipping costs? How do you do that? Because especially, I mean, it's probably different in the States and in Canada. Here, postal service is just postal.
No.
It's just so expensive to ship anything. But when you do place it on eBay, who covers usually the postal services?
Oh, the buyer pays shipping.
The buyer's pay shipping. Oh, well, that sounds even better. I think we have some work to do in spring.
And here in the States, U.S. Postal Service has a lot of flat rate mailers, so it doesn't matter how much it weighs. If it fits in the box, it'll go for that same price. So you can list that on your listing so the buyer knows exactly how much they're going to pay. Or if you just have a small scale, a lot of people have tiny scales for their kitchen.
Yeah.
Even a bathroom scale, I suppose. If you get a rough weight on what it is, you can have eBay calculate the shipping for the buyer. So again, you don't have to figure anything out.
That's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, because usually that's what refrains me from doing anything online for selling, is because of the shipping. But this sounds amazing.
I put out a video a couple of weeks ago. So I had a load of scrap that I picked up in October, and one of the things in there was this box of antique doorknobs. They were all painted over and kind of cruddy looking, and most people would have just thrown that out or put it in the scrap brass bucket and brought it to the scrap yard and got $1.50 a pound maybe. But I put them all in a flat rate box, so my cost was $14.99, or sorry, buyer's cost was $14.99 to ship. And I mean, looking on eBay, some of these lots were going for over $200 for a box of old doorknobs. So I posted it, and within a week it sold for $175, and the buyer paid shipping. So I mean, just taking a few minutes to look that up, the value of an old doorknob paid off big time.
Wow.
It's so easy.
It really is, and you I don't know. I think channels like yours really inspire people to do stuff like that. I think they have more of an impression sometimes than you realize. I really believe YouTube's at that point right now. Like you've probably heard me saying last night and tonight, I say it a lot, that, I look at this live stream, it's like a book of knowledge. It's like a library. There's so many books and so many different topics. And I believe people are really looking to YouTube for knowledge right now. Way more than they're going to Wikipedia, way more than anywhere else. It is the #2 search engine in the world because it's on demand, and they're looking to be inspired. Right. I always bring up metal magnet fishing. I think that's one of the most interesting things in the world. I would have never known that existed. And then when you think about it, once again, the environmental spin onto it and the whole, the whole thing, the treasure hunting aspect of it. And I think people are looking at your channel and probably a lot of them walking away thinking, I can do this. And then they start following you more because they want to keep that inspired feeling going. It's not just your niche that's looking at it, but the general public too. You're inviting new people into it.
Right. And that's important to get, new people, as often as possible. I mean, you can't, it's easy to stagnate. So
that is true.
Up until now, most of the stuff that I've been doing has been, scrapping oriented and gold recovery oriented. And that's such a small population out there. I'm trying to expand more into the eBay, into, other things that people can do to generate some income to help their families out. And magnet fishing. The first time I was introduced to magnet fishing was a YouTuber, I think his name is Clash Guitars.
Yeah.
And he was doing this magnet fishing for black sands, which is something that gold prospectors look for. And it was just completely amazing to watch this guy take a magnet, chuck it in a stream, and then pull out this big glob of black sand. You'd be like, oh, you're panning it out. There's the gold.
Oh my God.
And you see people in Germany who are magnet fishing, pulling out World War II, grenades that haven't gone off. And it's amazing. There's just so much amazing information out there that, most people, if it weren't for YouTube, no one would be exposed to, which I think is a a wonderful, wonderful thing.
That is very true. Isn't that a nice feeling when you see somebody get inspired from something you've done like that and get the bug?
Yep.
And then you see them going, and it doesn't mean they're starting it right away, but you'll see them visit some of your friends' streams or comment on their videos, and you could tell that thought is in their head, and they're exploring it. And I think that's such an amazing thing to see.
It is. It really is.
You know, even if they end up not following through with it, just if they find a new love interest into to it, you know. It's like a TV show. Not if you watch a show about NASCAR, doesn't mean you're going to become a NASCAR racer all the time, but you might really be enthralled with it. So, you have a really great philosophy. Because like I say, I've just found your channel a couple of days, so I can't say, oh, I remember back, 10 months ago. But even just talking to you now, I really like your approach to everything. There's a very natural, honest kindness in what you do. And I find that comes out in your videos, and now speaking to you, I see it even more. I noticed you just started live streaming. I hope that's not going to be the end of it. I hope you're going to be doing some more of them, because I think it would be really great to...
Yeah. Right now, I'm planning on doing like one a month.
Yep.
I'm struggling to find like really a good place for the live stream. Place. But I mean, like Bob Gill and his channel Gill Skills.
Yep.
He's the one who got me into live streaming.
Right.
So he says I got him into scrapping. He got me into live streaming. It's like it's amazing to watch how like a small family forms from such a simple thing as a live stream chat.
Yep.
You get all these people who just start popping up, and all of a sudden they're all like getting to know each other. And I mean, they could live on the other side of the world.
Yep.
Like all these people in Australia, like Big Keg and and folks. I mean, it's just amazing to see these people like get together, and they may not have anything in particular to talk about.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're together talking like a bunch of friends in a room.
That's very true.
So with the Moose Scrapper channel, at first I thought it was going to be kind of like a question and answer kind of thing.
Right.
But it didn't really turn out that way. So it kind of left me like, okay, so what do I do with this? I'm not really sure. Do I come up with an agenda for the stream, or do I just like jot a few notes and say, well, maybe we could talk about this if it gets a little slow or something? I don't know what to do with it just yet.
That'll come in time. That's very normal. I mean, lots of people go through that. And it's like your videos too. If you look back to your earlier videos and now, you were probably trying to find your voice and stuff like that. And it just takes time to figure it out. So don't rush it. You have time to kind of feel it out, do some, and see where you feel most comfortable going with it from that point.
Yeah, I'm back in the zone where I'm doing this for the enjoyment of it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not rushing anything. I'm just doing what I enjoy.
Well, that's it. And I mean, the nice thing about a live stream, as soon as you turn it on, you're going to have people that because it's always going to go first to the people who follow you. So it's not like such a cold ice thing, and it's and just remember that they're the ones that are watching you all the time anyways. They come to your videos, so they definitely like something what you're doing. So that takes a little bit of the edge off. And sometimes you can let the audience decide a little bit at first too, where they see what they want to talk about, like you say, and then you'll kind of find out something maybe like, okay, well, there were, and don't be shy too. If you don't like where it's going, you can kind of slowly bring it back more to what you want. Right. They're going to like you no matter what because they like you already. So as long as you're not screaming profanities or all kind of anything like that. I mean, they're your fans.
So. The worst thing you'll see on a live stream is, a little bit of, maybe a cup of Scrapper's Helper, but that's about it.
Well, there you go. That's what I was told about a while ago. So there you go. I'll join you in that. So I wish I had the real thing, but...
But I do have a quick question, though. I had to close down the YouTube window, so I can't see who's all in the chat.
Yep.
Is there anything there from someone named Pooh's Mate? I got a message from this person who wanted to double-check the time of the live stream tonight. This subscriber of mine is one of my first subscribers.
Oh.
And they've been with me from the beginning, solid all the way through. And I don't know why. I can't really explain it. But every time I get a comment or something from this person, it just puts a big smile on my face. Like, wow, they're still watching my crap.
Oh, that is so awesome. I think Xenia's checking right now.
Yeah. How do you spell it?
Poosmate, Poosmate.
Oh, no, not for now, but I will keep my eye for it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. It's so amazing when you do have these people that follow you right from the beginning, you know, and kind of like you're growing together, so to say. They know how you were in your first old video, you know, like all, like for us, you know, all clumsy and not knowing what to do and so on, and they're still there when you're trying to do something better. It is really cool. We do have Taco Stacks who said that he learned the most from you.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that nice when you hear something like that?
It is. It's I don't really know how to take that though, because it's like, well, okay.
I seen that. That's why I want to bring it back again to you. I know, but I think that was really it's that's what fuels you. It should, you know. I'm like you too. I'd rather be given the compliments than taking them. But
oh, absolutely.
But I think that was really kind to say, and that I think that's something to feed off.
Is the red showing through yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good thing. That shows that you really appreciate it. It just shows how sincere you are. So I know Bob Gill Skills can't wait to get in. He said he had his child's concert tonight. So, but can't wait to join us in a little bit. So. Well, real life always comes first, as we say here. So,
right. Yeah, he promised some quality heckling. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's an awesome guy.
Yep, he's one of those guys that's like so incredibly positive, like all the time. It's like bursting out of him.
Yeah, he is. We had him on. I don't know if you knew that a couple of weeks ago. We had a good time with him too. Yeah, no, it was. He's another one that's very. I find. Oh my God, I don't want to say this the wrong way and offend anybody. I don't mean this in a bad, but I find people from Maine, out of all the states, have the most in common with their neighboring Canadians.
Well, most of Maine was, almost Canada, Aroostook County anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just, it's like, it's almost seamless, the transition between New Brunswick to there. Right. We actually had somebody else on from Maine a couple of weeks ago. We had Matthew Godford.
Yep.
He's the creator of he made, there's a video game from Nintendo called Star Fox. And
wow, he's from Maine?
Yeah, well, not the creator of it, but he created this animation, and he does it like celluloid style. He's got like his first video, I think, had 2.2 million views onto it.
Yeah, he's created cartoon that is based on the video game.
Yeah.
And he moved to Maine from Middle States, I think.
Yeah, Kentucky, I think it was. Yeah.
So he's not a native Mainer.
No, not a native Mainer, but he's in love with Maine though. He nothing but the highest regards. So yeah, he's eventually moving to Canada. He was getting a step closer. So
there you go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I always liked it down there, and the people, like I say, from New Brunswick to there is so seamless. You barely even recognize that you've crossed. If it wasn't for a border.
Yeah, it gets a little sketchy for a while, but once you hit Biddeford, you're back in Canada. Like just about everyone there speaks Franglais. So
yes. Well, I remember there was a TV show on Discovery Channel or History Channel from there about log haulers.
Oh yeah, up in Millinocket. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. That's actually family of mine.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
My mother's maiden name is Pelletier, and that was the Pelletier family.
Really?
So they're cousins.
Oh.
Wow. Well, we watched that.
Yeah, we watched, I think, every episode. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We always think of it because when we go to Gaspé, where I'm from, above New Brunswick, we always cut over by Edmundston because it's faster that way, and then go north. So we're right on the border pretty much. So, yeah. And Pelletier in French is Pelletier. So I used to laugh at all the French people because I know that drives them crazy. So I'd just bring it up all the time just to get their goat. Yeah, you're a Pelletier, right? Just to get them because I like stirring stuff. That's why. Yeah. But yeah, I mean they're all Acadians pretty much. Like I mean the same, same lines. So it's a beautiful area through there too. I mean it really is. There's some nice. I like the wooded scenery and stuff like that. I mean it's like home for me. So. Probably that's to why maybe I'm a little biased as well. So when it's said and done.
That's all right. I won't hold it against you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys got an awesome ferry too from Bangor over to Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. That hydro, there's a hydro. That thing is crazy. Like that's.
Yeah, I haven't been on that yet.
I was on it a long time ago, and man, does that thing move! Like, I give it full props for that one. So, Dice Arts is still going, right?
Oh yeah, that place will never die.
Never, right? It's a pretty big place too. I mean,
oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, it's a gas station. It's they have bathrooms with showers in them. It's a restaurant. It's a convenience store. I mean, it's everything all in one.
And I don't know if it's still the same. The servings were pretty generous too. Holy God, you walk out of there almost needing like an angioplasty. You know, like yeah, they definitely fed you up for the road. I can't take that away from them. Do you go up into New Brunswick much, or do you ever go in?
I don't go up as often as I'd like to.
Right.
I have a little bit of a complicated family situation down here.
Okay. No problem.
My mother still lives up there. My brother is, U.S. Customs and Immigration in Holton. So I'll go up there and visit them, maybe once a year.
Okay. Because especially now you need a passport to go over the border.
Yes.
That's a big change. That's the part that sucks. That's the part that I hate.
I guess you should explain to the younger generation why you say that.
Because we need a passport.
Because you didn't need the passport.
You didn't need a passport before.
God, no.
Yeah.
See, when I was a kid, my father was U.S. Customs officer in Fort Kent, right where I lived.
Right.
So I could go over the Canadian border like nothing, just drive. Hey, how's it going? Oh, nonstop. Yep. See you later. So I mean, yeah, I did some things that I probably shouldn't have done. I took advantage of that, but yeah,
hey, you're young.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, there's a lot of clubs out in Edmonton that they don't have in Maine.
Go to any Montreal bar and you're going to see mostly American kids that are under 21 coming up to drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the beer is pretty strong because a lot of it's around 7-8%. So yeah.
I haven't had a Molson Triple X in years.
Oh my God. Yes. Me neither. I'm kind of thankful. I don't miss it. I know I should be proud of it, but yeah, not my favorite of the drinks. But yeah, the strip clubs up here, my God, they were throwing the kids out left, right, and center because they get 3 drinks them, and then they were all hands. Bouncers tossing them out. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, because I mean it's 21, and here it's even younger than New Brunswick. It's 18. So
New Brunswick changed to 21?
No, they're 19, and the States is 21.
Right.
And here is 18. I think Manitoba might be 18 too. I kind of forget. So even like where I grew up, and I was like 80 kilometers from me is the border between New Brunswick and Quebec. All the New Brunswick kids would run over to go to the bars over there because they could get in a year earlier. So yeah. Yeah, you gotta love the thought process between invisible lines, Yeah. So you used to come up some in that. Where would you go, like Fredericton and those places, or?
Yeah, I've been to Fredericton. I mean, I have family in Quebec. I have family in mostly in New Brunswick.
Right.
Right on the border of St. John Valley is pretty much where I'd go.
Okay. Have you ever been up to the Bay of Fundy?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Like that tide, like 26 to 40 feet. People in 12 hours, this tide changes. I think the maximum is 48 feet or something like that in 12 hours.
It's crazy.
You got a dock and you got these boats like 35 feet down below sitting in the mud. And then in a couple hours, they're right up 35 feet back at the dock. It's the craziest tide you'll ever see. The highest tidal change in the world, actually, by far. Yeah.
It's such a beautiful area, especially in the fall, like Brador and going towards Nova Scotia. It's so nice out there.
Nova Scotia's stunning. Like it's something just out of a book. Prince Edward Island too is very. I mean, because it's a land all on its own type of thing, and that red rock and everything else, and red sand and stuff. And
the purple roads.
and every house is. It's like it doesn't even matter if it's a dump in a rural area. It's still the cleanest dump you've ever seen in your life.
That's right.
It's like, how can you get this any cleaner? And this is the one they tell you not to go near his house because he's dirty. Yep. You could eat off the walls. So yeah, they take a lot of pride into it. A lot of Amish are starting to go to Prince Edward Island now.
Really?
And they're working with them because they were in Ontario, but the land prices are going sky high. They're now starting their land, and the people of Prince Edward Island have been lobbying to get more to move over there. because they're good at tending the land. They keep it clean. They're quiet, and they're also great for tourism. And
right.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird process. I didn't know this was going on. We just listened to a special about it. It came on the radio actually the last time we drove home. I think. And they were talking about that. The mayor of certain counties and stuff like that's been up, like kind of recruiting them and selling them on moving down there and stuff. And they've even offered free trucking for their livestock to help with relocation. So
Jackie just moved to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and is loving it.
Oh, nice, Jackie. Lulu, love you. I don't know if she's still in here. She's from Nova Scotia, around that area.
Right around you there.
We've talked about moving to Nova Scotia.
Halifax, I love that place.
I love it. It'd be nice to be coastal more. So, but
what other? How to ask this question? Is recycling your only passion, or do you have like other hobbies besides that you're doing?
I've kind of got like passion ADHD, I think. I tend to hop around to things. Like for a while, it was really like the gold recovery. It was like, wow, this is awesome. Like really into it. Then that kind of fizzled out into the woodworking stuff with pallets, and then going back to playing guitar, and then just now getting back with the YouTube scrapping thing. So I don't know, my passions, I'm one of those guys that's kind of hard to nail down a particular passion at any given point in time. I find so many things, I'm like, wow, that's interesting, and that's interesting, and that's interesting. And I just want to learn about all these different things. So I don't think I can answer that one.
that one's a tricky one for you. But that's okay. That's okay. It's great to have varied interest. I mean, it really is. That's a well-rounded person, in my opinion. So is there some things that really kind of a little bit more than the others that stand out for you?
In the summer, gardening, definitely. Working in the garden, it's to me, that's something that if I couldn't do, I'd be completely miserable. Playing music, that's something that has, I was watching your live stream the other day with the Frozen guy.
Yes. Yep.
My phone not the door. Wow. All right. Sorry about that. And I was listening to him talk about, what he plans for the future and stuff like that, and his music career. And the only thing that kept going through my mind was, learning to play music, being passionate about music, no matter what, even if you don't get a career in it, you still have something that it's so relaxing. It's almost meditative.
Yeah.
And it's a gift that you'll have for the rest of your life. So that's, one of the things that kind of, brought me back into playing guitar again after. So I was married for almost 15 years, and it just wasn't part of the deal. So bringing that back in it's really sparked. It's something I'm very passionate about.
Go ahead, please.
I'm just wondering if I even answered your question or not. I started to ramble.
Yeah, no. Andrew is very passionate about music too. He actually plays guitar, and have played drums as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I try to actually encourage him play more because I love hearing him play. And sometimes I think it's harder to pick up and play.
Now, do any of your parents play?
Yes, my father was a guitar, fiddle, and mandolin and stuff like that. My mother,
same
piano.
here.
Really, I love it. See,
awesome.
So when you were a kid, you probably played a lot with them, right?
Yeah. I was around it a lot. I had very different taste in music.
Right.
But yes, and as now I'm older, when I pick up an acoustic, I tend to play a lot of like Merle Haggard that my dad used to play.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
always Mama Tried and stuff like that and everything. So, yeah. It's nice. It is. It's memories.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Big time. I mean, I'll pick it up and, there are certain songs that just like pop into your head like right away.
Yeah.
I mean, anything Johnny Cash, I think of my dad. Mm-hmm. And, I'd be playing the guitar to him playing the violin in the bathroom.
Oh, that's
because it was all tile, so the acoustics were great, according to him.
Right. He was right. He was absolutely right. The man knew his stuff.
Amazing.
Yes.
Right. So I'd be sitting on the toilet and he'd be sitting on the edge of the shower or the bathtub, and we'd just be, strumming along. He'd be playing, and it's great memories like that. So it's
That is awesome. I just wanted to let you know our buddy Gil Skills, Bob, is in here.
Yeah.
He's in here in full force, so.
All right, bring it, Bob. I can take it.
I just got him. Gemma's in here as well. Spencer Sharp, FPV, welcome. We got Philip Cockram. He's also a great. There's another guy, a great guitar player as well. Does some videos and stuff with it. Really cool.
Maybe Philip can get you back in playing.
Yes, maybe. Oh, Lala Lydia's in here.
Do it. If you're having any reservations about getting back into playing guitar, just do it. Just do it.
It kind of got a bit physical for a bit. I take a medication, and sometimes it causes symptoms of arthritis.
Right.
And it just was getting too painful to play, like to push against the strings. So now that it's not bad right now, but now like the strings are rusty, I got to get them cleaned. And then it's one of those things, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'm going to do that this week. And next week turns into the next. But yeah, I got to get back into it. So I know.
You have an acoustic or an electric? Because electric's a lot easier to play.
Yeah, I got two RGX 521s with Floyd Rose. I'm an 80s guy. Definitely. That's guilty as charged. And I got a Johnson JM 150 with two 12-inch Celestians.
Wow, you don't mess around.
Well, I worked for that. I think you were there the other night when I was talking to Frozen. I used to work for a big music company. And we were a distributor. So I could get it at distributor price, these things. So it was a time. I guess I can't get in trouble for it now. It's been a couple of years. But I remember like sell-offs. I would do it the paperwork. I didn't have room for drums, but we did Pearl drums. We were Canada-wide. Once across the border, it was us. And I remember kits that were $7,000 that I could have picked up for $700, like brand new out of the box, never even touched.
Oh.
But if you don't have the room for them, they're going to get destroyed.
Right.
And then that's a waste. And we couldn't sell them. A couple of guys went, of course, and bought them and put them on eBay, and some of them ended up losing their jobs for it. So, it's like, I don't know. There's always somebody got to ruin it for everybody. So they had to be more careful who they sold it to. You had to sign a paper saying that it was for personal use and stuff like that. So, but anyways, I have those guitars, and I also have an acoustic, and it just kind of, I like playing. I play a lot of 80s. I play a lot of Ozzy and stuff like that. I think that's kind of my genre. But
nothing wrong with a little Crazy Train.
No, it never hurt anybody. The last I heard. Thank you, Recycle Dude. That's right. 80s, love it. Right back at you, my friend. So, it's music is for the soul. It really does. I wish every kid had to learn it in school. I wish it was mandatory. I wish there was budget and funding for it. And because I think it's really an integral part of somebody's development. I truly do.
Big time.
It's so it's such a back burner issue now in schools, and that really bothers me.
And the strange part is there have been so many studies that show that people who are taught music do better in things like math and science.
Right.
So it's if you have this given thing,
yes,
that, can also be a skill for someone as well. Why not continue to teach it?
Yes.
It just boggles my mind.
It's frustrating. Rizorian Buck says he's a guitar player as well. He's played in bands and all that as well. And he says music is a language that we all speak. Exactly.
Right. Yep.
Country culture, social wealth, whatever you go at. I mean, music bonds everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Does your daughter play any instrument?
No.
It's not too late. You never know.
No, you're right.
And it's a harder sell today. Like it's not as in people's vocabulary anymore. It's kind of like a passe thing a lot of times. That's why I was so surprised when Frozen Fury the other night said rock band got him into guitar. I was working for those big companies at the time, and our fear was it was going to kill it,
Right.
So, welcome, Brandon Rush. Great to have you back. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody here.
HSFL just joining us in as well.
Welcome, guys. Guys, if you guys can hit the like button and tweet it out, that would be really awesome. We are getting some buffering. I just had two of my friends that were live streaming message me, and they're pulling their hair out. So, wish we could do something about it, but just hit F5 on your keyboard and Command R if you're using Mac. I'm not a Mac guy, so I always forget the command board. So, I was wondering, we never got a chance to talk about this, so I'm just asking, can you talk a little bit about what you do for your day-to-day work?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, where you feel comfortable.
I work in child and adolescent mental health. So, I mean, there's a lot that I can't talk about.
Of course, no, please. And we're not asking for anything that you can't discuss, just in general or stuff like that you can.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a nurse, but not really. If I had the paycheck of a nurse, I probably wouldn't need to scrap. But no, I'm the one. I'm the guy who checks in patients. I'm the one who gets all their vital signs. I take care of medication refills. Whenever there's like rating scales to help, the therapist and the psychiatrist figure out diagnoses, I'm the one who scores them. I'm the first person that families typically see when they come into the clinic. So I mean, I wear a whole bunch of hats there. I'm the CPR trainer for the whole division. Yeah, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things, but it's basically child and adolescent mental health. It's an outpatient clinic.
Interesting. That I think explains a lot in your personality and the way you do your channel and stuff like that. And I think that's yeah, no, I want to, because it does. That does. I mean, I knew a bit of that already. But we just hadn't discussed how much to go with it. But I think that is kind of how you use to connect on your channel and stuff like that.
I mean, originally when I was in college, I was a pre-med, and that's where I wanted to go. Originally, I wanted to go into chiropractic medicine.
Right.
But I made different life choices along the way. But regardless, I wanted to stay in the medical field because I mean, I like helping people. I mean, it's just something that I enjoy doing. It makes it so that I can sleep well at night. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So, I figured this is something that, I don't have, a 6 or an 8 year degree, but I'm still in there. I'm still helping people. So, still doing it.
Yeah, I completely can relate to that. All my life growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. My mom was a nurse and always in the hospital, always around it. I wanted to be a doctor, like anytime somebody asked me. But, stuff happened and I didn't really get into the university for a doctor's degree. But my father at the time when he asked me, why do you want to be a doctor? I said, because I want to help people. Like you said, when you go to sleep at night, you know that you help somebody. And he said, you know what? You don't have to be a doctor to help people.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I went into psychology. And that's why when I seen, your day-to-day job, I'm like, I know it's not the same thing, but I'm like, I can relate. I get this. This is really interesting.
It's not the same, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
you're still getting results at the end of the day. There's still something you can really pat yourself in the back. And sometimes that other help besides the doctor is really the more connected with the patient, which gives you the more reward.
More so. I would say, I would even say more so sometimes.
I'm trying to be like play, but really, let's face it, the doctor has a lot of limited connection with their patient.
Right.
It's a lot of you guys doing all the work to prepare for when they just come in and do their thing and and they're back out. Not that I don't want to make them sound uncompassionate. It's just not something that they're going to be connected with their patient 24 hours a day.
Right. And I mean, plus with the state of, the way things are, like with insurance companies, doctors have so much more requirements on them as far as paperwork.
Yes, exactly.
And all these different procedures, things they have to do. It cuts the amount of time they can spend with the patient. So, that's where it falls onto people like me.
Right, exactly. And have you been doing it for a long time?
14 years this March.
14 years this March. Wow, that's awesome. And you're happy with it? Like, I mean, nobody's happy with their job. I always say if you can get 70% happiness out of your job, you're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like anything else. There are days where I come home like, but most of the time, I'm happy with it.
Scrapper Steve says, because he was saying about bringing back vocational schools, and they just wrote, I graduated with a vocational high school in carpentry. Today, when Xenia first came here to Canada, I was saying, I hope my kids maybe become a plumber, electrician, and she looked at me like I got 3 heads. But in Latvia at the time, especially with a country that was under Soviet occupation, they want all their kids to get university degrees. Like,
and we do have vocational schools, but still, it's not...
It's not what it is here. You know, it is more kind of the guy that couldn't really get through school a lot of times, handy but not good in school type thing. So I said, come with me, and I took her on Bord de Lac, or boardwalk in English, out in the more expensive part of the western Montreal Island. And I'm like, I want to show you these big houses. And you're going to notice something in common with them. It's not a lot of BMWs parked in front of them, but there's a lot of electrician trucks. There's a lot of heating duct trucks, and there's a lot of plumbing trucks.
Yep.
And because nobody wants to do it anymore, because we were caught in that same thing and pushed every kid into university, whether they needed to go or not, and never thought of anything as that was all beneath them.
Yep. And there's a huge shortage, even here in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Huge shortage.
North America wide. You know, you can get into places like Immigrate Canada, U.S., or back and forth and from other countries more if you have one of those trades behind you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, way more than if you're an accountant, way more if you're a lot of other trades. And I'm not knocking university. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just that people have almost been taught that it's bad to work with your hands.
Right. Yeah, get a desk job. Work smarter, not harder. Well, yeah, you know, nowadays, if you work a little with your hands more, you make a lot more money.
Yeah, you do.
Plumbers, electricians, carpenters, they make way more than a lot of people I know in the medical field. So
call a plumber at 3 o'clock in the morning when you have a bursted pipe and see what you're going to pay just to get them to show up at your door.
Exactly.
Way more than the
hours fee.
Yes.
Emergency fee.
You're going to be paying double to triple what you would pay for a lawyer that's a decent lawyer. You know, really, somebody that's went to school and went without pay for a good 10, 11 years studying to get to where they are. And then internships and then lower end job. Yeah, or nothing in their field because it's so saturated and they end up working at McDonald's for 3 years trying to get a job in there. That's why once I showed her, I'm like, see, this is why. Look at these houses. It's not Beamers in front, most of them. It's guys that just have their own business and they call their own shots. They go on vacation when they want. They take the jobs that they want because there's such a demand. Yep. They're not losing anything. The phone will constantly ring. Welders, I worked out west in Saskatchewan, which is connected to North Dakota, of course, that Bakken oil ring. After I left, that's when the oil prices all went down. All of those started slowing a bit. Well, heavy mechanics, welders, those guys were making a mint, and they paid them that wage for 2 years till the boom comes back. They don't even want to lose them this time, so they're actually paying them to sit around doing barely anything. For when that time comes, they'll not have to go digging so far.
Yeah, one of the women that I work with has been a therapist for like ever. Right, she has a son who's 22, and he's a welder, and he's making more money than she is, working half as many hours.
Yep.
At one of the docks here in Portland.
Yep.
I mean, it's 22-year-old making $60,000 a year easy, working 30 hours a week.
What else?
Oh my God!
Exactly. And guess what? If the work slowed down there's places all over North America that will take them in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
They won't even ask questions. Truck drivers even is a shortage I was just reading up onto. I didn't realize that bad. Quality long-haul truck drivers, they're crying for them. They're having job fairs. They're paying ridiculous salaries now just to get you back on the road.
Yep.
All those trades went down, and I mean, things got to move. Things got to be done. Things got to be fixed. Things got to be built. Even carpenters today make an amazing amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
A finishing carpenter today can write his own ticket. I mean, you know.
Yeah, like Aussie Pop Hunter says, having a trade is incredibly important. He's a licensed equipment operator, and there's always a way of going back to it. You know, you can always do something else, but then you know that there's always something you can fall back at.
Well, like with me, I worked for that big music company. It was a pretty corporate job. Well, when I left there wasn't much. It was right around the fall, right after the crash, 2008. And I called in Saskatchewan. A friend said, "Oh, there was tons of trucking companies." He said, "Call this one." I worked for them before. Literally, I talked to them for 10 minutes. I said, "I have not driven a truck in 11 years. 11 years I haven't turned the key in one."
You're hired.
When can you start? I said, "I want you to know." No, he goes, "When are you coming out?" And I said, "I don't know yet." He goes, "When is as soon as you can be here?" And I said, "Well, it's going to take me about 5 days to get out." He said, "Get out here. We're booking you the appointment for the training because you have to take it for breathing apparatus because of the gases and that." And 3 days later, I was in that, and 3 days after that, I was working. Like, they just couldn't put you out fast enough like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was almost kind of scary, you know, like you get the willies. Like, is there a catch? Am I going to get through? And it was good money. I mean, it was literally over 100,000 Canadian the first year.
And then you start asking yourself, how many other truck drivers out there haven't driven in 11, 12, 15 years?
Yes.
Now behind the wheel of a massive, massive vehicle.
With a load of crude oil that could pollute half of an acre of land. I asked myself that one lots. Don't worry. Yes, Philip, not enough wifey. I agree. We got to get more from wifey.
No, and it was a good money like in Saskatchewan, but at the same time, there is always a trade-off for everything.
Yeah.
Like HSFL here was saying too, like he had a work injury. Actually, it was a industrial vac, company, but he got a work injury falling off the ladder. So there's always other side of it. Us in Saskatchewan, first of all, it's flat land. Second of all, it's -50 in winter. Like, come on.
Celsius, yeah.
Celsius. Well, it doesn't even matter anymore at that point. It's just so cold.
Yeah.
So there's and also like Andrew was working 24 days straight. Leaving at 4:30, coming back at 11 at night. So there's always trade-offs for everything, I find. For maybe little spurts of the moment, yes. But if you have family, then sometimes it's.
But in that trade, but I mean, most of them like electrician, plumbers, and all that. I mean, it's just nothing but pluses. You can work in any city, any town you want.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. What the plumber is, if you can stand the stench once in a while, and it's not that often that happens. You're mostly working with clean pipe. You're not a sewer guy. And I mean, electricians, if you don't mind bats, that's literally what's probably the biggest thing, and a couple of tight spaces to crawl through.
Yeah, I don't do well with tight spaces.
No, me neither. That's why I could never be an electrician.
I just can't get into them.
There's
me
an
either.
There's an idea for you, Andrew.
Right.
That's how Roll knows a friend that is a commercial construction and demolition diver. Travels everywhere. They
make big money. Divers, commercial that can do that, or high pressure welding, their salary is ridiculously high. We're talking like way up in the 6-figure salaries. Like, they just basically go on expensive as crazy contracts. I was talking to a pilot today, and he was telling me for like Air Canada, a top pilot, but he said like this is like the last 2 years of your career mostly. They can bring upwards of 330,000 Canadian. For a pilot.
Yeah, we're like 2-hour middle son. We're like, okay, we know where you want to go now.
Yeah, here. Congratulations, you're going to be a pilot. And they're trying pilots. He told me that in China right now, there's so many planes grounded because they can't get a pilot for them that they'll pay upwards of $500,000 a year U.S. tax free just to get those planes in the air if you can get them up there.
Oh.
Yep. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. Oh yeah. I don't think I'll be doing that either anytime soon. I would like to be a pilot, but my age is 44. I don't think I'll become one anytime soon. So.
You wanted to be a pilot?
Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to be. I don't consider
44
myself.
44 is the new 30. Come on.
I agree with you. I mean, just for pilot, age does not bother me in the least. I'm so fine with age. Actually, my life is better at 40. I say that better now in my 40s than it was before. I enjoy things more. Got more to be thankful for. That's
because you're wiser now.
Of course, exactly. You nailed it. How do you feel that way about yourself as well? Your look on the world is better now than it was when you were like 20 and stuff like that.
You're asking me or your wife?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm asking you. Yeah, because we don't get the camera on. That's right. He can't see us. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, I was asking you.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, God, absolutely. I mean, just the last, I'd say, 3 years of my life, there's been such a complete turnaround in the way that I see things. I mean, even my daughter has noticed that, it's like, you don't get angry anymore. You don't, you're so much more calm. And it's like, well, you get to a point in life where you realize what's really worth putting your energy towards.
Right.
And the negative stuff, there's always going to be negative stuff, but that doesn't mean you have to really focus on it. Something bad happens, we'll look at the positive because there's always something positive happening. And no matter what happens to you, there's always a flip side to it that you learn something or something like that. So my attitude in the past, 3 years maybe, I definitely, and I don't know that I would attribute that to age so much, but my life experiences in the past few years. But yeah, right now I definitely am much more like that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of liberating.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like the old expression, the air tastes better. The air smells better. The water tastes better when you get to that point.
And you keep thinking, if only I could have known this, or if I could go back in time and tell my younger self, dude, you're stressing out really over nothing. You can't change it. Mm-hmm. Just let it go.
Yeah.
But you can't. So
That's a very good point.
How to learn to do that?
Oh my God, G Molly's in here. Wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I got surprised to see somebody.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Please answer away.
It was through the process of a very interesting divorce, and having to very quickly reassess my life and where I was, what I had, where I was going. That for some reason, it was like a switch that was like, okay, what's critical, what's not, what's worth getting worked up over, what's not. And whatever switch got flipped, it stuck. So, I mean, that's the best that I can explain it, really.
Wow.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is for anything really that we have as our like personality traits, so to say, that we sometimes need that shake up and sometimes unfortunate ones, but it does change, different things in people's lives, or attitudes or perceptions of life altogether. It's just too bad it's sometimes needed that bad thing to happen, if whatever it would be. But yes, I find sometimes
I'm looking at the positives of it. So.
Yes, exactly. It's always a learning experience from that, for sure.
Roy Parman says, yeah, I get that. Divorce changed me a lot, too.
It's amazing how a life event that for some people is cataclysmic, for some people it's just completely eye-opening. And it can happen in just such a brief period of time, a few days, and then your entire outlook on life is different.
That's a good thing. I mean, at any time, it's a good thing. I went through a divorce. That's why I left the music company. That's when I met Xenia, and all these things changed in my life. And I wouldn't say I'm a completely new person. But yeah, I would say it changed me a lot.
Right.
It's a hard thing. That I think sometimes I said something that I don't know if I want to finish it. No, yeah. I'm just trying to think of the way to say it, because I mean, it does though. I found it funny, and it really gave me a sense in life of what I know, what I don't like. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds kind of rude, but it's not, because it's...
No, that is a very important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will go through life and not be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
And they'll just keep putting up with it and not really realizing that, hey, if I just accept that I don't like this and get it out of my life,
yep,
they're blocking their own happiness. So you found that out, so good on you.
Well, yeah, I guess. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's important. Like I've always said that in channels, and I think it's time. Like I'm more cut and dry now in my life. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lower tolerance for stuff that I don't like, and it's not a snooty attitude, and I give things a chance. But anything that's dragging me down, I just cut it. Like I'm not into like pulling off the Band-Aid slowly. I'm not into learning how to accept it. I just don't want it.
You don't want to waste time because you know how much it's energy it takes. Exactly.
G Molly says get rid of the toxic energy. Amen. Exactly. Because that's what brings you down. If you keep letting it fester inside you, and you don't cut it, it is like a crippling effect after a while. But yeah, I mean, I got to do a lot of things now at my 40s because of that I never got to do before my first marriage. I traveled a lot for business, but my ex didn't like to travel, all these things. And we made good money, enough that we could do things. And with Xenia, like, I've seen most of Europe. I've backpacked. I've jumped on trains for 2 weeks with no hotel plans and all these things. And I like it, and I enjoy it more now than if I had it in my 20s, because I would have taken it for granted. I would have got drunk in half the bars and missed, half of what I've seen. So it's all in perspective.
You strike me as the kind of guy that we could probably sit down and just chat for hours. Because there's a lot of similarities there going on here.
I agree. I agree 100%. 100%. I see a lot. Right from the beginning when you're talking about small town and stuff like that, the way you described your area and that, I see a lot of similarities too. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And that's the thing I love most about doing this, is getting to meet people and have the chance to meet people I connect with and stuff.
Right.
It's a real honor to be able to, people want to come on and talk with us. Because there's so much going on behind their channel. Their channel's great, and we're here to push their channel, let people see it. But it's also, too, for everybody, even the ones that's followed you for a while, to find out things that they didn't know about you because of your channel. because it's not always an open library. It's not always a diary about everything
Right.
I've done in my life. And as I told you before, I always tell everybody that I'm not Oprah. I'm not here to make people cry. I leave it very open ended, and what they want to share, they can, and what they don't, that's up to them. So, you know, what is it like as single parent?
It's got its ups and downs, but I'm finding it very rewarding.
Right.
There's a lot less pressure when you don't have to compete, or, well, this one said that, this one said no, this one said yes. It's nice that because I've reached that point in my life where I'm so much more calm, where I'm able to, like, you know, hear things and be there more. I'm not able to articulate exactly what I'm thinking.
We're just talking. Don't worry about it.
Right. But because I feel like I'm able to be more present.
Right.
And that's made such a huge difference. And, you know, I can see it, you know, in my daughter whenever I talk to her. So it's, I think it's you know, being a single parent is, it's not easy.
Right.
But in my situation, I think it's great. I think I wouldn't change it for the world.
Nice.
Is it, does it feel sometimes harder because it's a girl?
Well, see, my daughter, and she's her room is on the other side of this wall, so she might be listening in. So she has just started dating.
Oh.
As a father, of course.
Yes.
I'm cleaning my guns out.
Yes.
And so yesterday she asked if we could go to this photo place where she had some pictures developed. They're still using film, apparently.
That's
and
a surprise.
One of the pictures was her and her boyfriend, and yeah, I'm still processing that, and I let her know that, you know, I'm going to need some time with this. But, you know, it's just, you know, being a dad, you know.
Yes, you know, I get you.
You know what boys are thinking.
And
you know, she's only 16, so I'm like, oh God.
Oh.
But
yeah.
Other than that, you know, it's been fine. I mean, you know, the fact that she's a girl, I mean, she may be, you know, a different gender, but she's remarkably down to earth. She's very very easy to get along with. She's a very good kid. So, you know, I think I'm very lucky in that aspect. But
I can relate with you in that, because our two oldest are boys. We got a 21 and 12. And I always kind of was a little cocky because I dodged the bullet, so to say. And then came our daughter.
She's 8. Far from dating yet, but I must tell you.
She's 8.
She's 8.
She just turned 8 the other day. Yeah.
So in 2 years, the drama will begin.
Oh,
yeah.
We're pretty much there already.
It's there already.
Yeah. That came in loud.
I guess everything is going much faster and starting earlier these days. Yeah, because that definitely is there already.
There's a reason why they invented the phrase or the word tween.
Yes.
That's when,
1,000% correct.
And I mean, she's as a baby girl, she she wraps her daddy around her finger for sure. And I'm just want to imagine how it's gonna happen when she's 16 with a boyfriend, as you're just saying. And Andrew said she's not gonna see any man until she's 40 at least, you know.
That's a good number. That is a good number.
Riverbend Longbows Outdoors says you have no idea. And Gil Skill says, LOL, she's got you around her little finger, doesn't she, Andrew? That and then some.
And Gil said that you're a great dad.
No. All I can do is the best that I can and hope that, things turn out great or well. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I got to tell you, he speaks extremely highly of you. And him and Eric Recycle both had great things to say about you. When I said you were coming on, you had contacted me, and they're like, oh, you're going to really love him and that. And he's an awesome guy. And I mean, lots and lots of great things. So you definitely have some dedicated fans out there. So
thanks, guys.
And that must help. Like, I was going to ask you that, like, as being a single parent, and that it doesn't leave much time sometimes for socializing as much probably as you want between work and everything.
Well, see, that's the thing. So we left it up to my daughter to figure out, where she would be, like, I don't know if visitation is really the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so she decided to go 2 weeks with me, then 2 weeks with her mother.
Oh.
So there's 2 weeks where, you know, I can do whatever I want. So,
that's good, and it's good for her, and it's good that you guys let her pick and stuff.
Well, it's
like
kind of is in a way. I mean, it is hard, but in a way, it kind of is best from both worlds. You get to have the parenting, but at the same time, you do have the time off, and you get to do whatever.
Because while
you
you're
want.
doing the parenting, it's just you. Like, I mean, you
Right.
know, it's not two people. And
Yes,
stuff like
of course.
That.
So it's
You know?
both extreme sides of it, so to say.
Yeah, that's I really admire that you guys let her pick like that. That's you know, I think that's so important, and kids don't get to do that all the time, and that's why they get wrapped up in the messes of a divorce instead of like.
I mean, the kids are the ones that get impacted the most.
Yes,
So
exactly.
give them a little bit of power, give them some voice, give them the ability to, you know, feel like they can have some control of their life. Because, you know, a lot of families who get divorced, the kids feel like everything's out of their hands.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they even feel like they're the reason for the divorce.
Yes.
So you got to put some of that back on them and say, look, no, this isn't you.
Yeah.
You know, you do have a voice. What do you want to have happen here?
Right.
And I mean, in my opinion, that's the best thing that you can do.
Yep, that makes sense. It really does, because a lot of kids get left out in the decision making completely.
Well, they get forgotten and all the drama of it oftentimes, although they should be the first ones to think of at that time. You know, oftentimes it doesn't happen like that, for sure.
Recycle Dude says, I have no kids, but my dogs pretty much are my kids. I have a sister that never wanted children in her whole life. That was the one thing she swore to, and she loves them just like children. I mean, love is love, and nothing dictates where it or who it should be aimed at. So,
And like my parents were divorced too when I was I think 6 or 7. But like my mother, I never heard her saying anything bad about my dad. Like I lived with my mom and seen my dad fairly often, but he oftentimes was in Russia working and so on. So, but she never really said anything bad, not a word since they divorced till them passing. I never heard anything bad about one or the other side, you know. And I appreciate it so much because I mean, I'm sure there were reasons why they divorced, but it definitely didn't impact the way I would be percepting my parents, you know, which I think is really important when that happens.
Yes. Me personally, I was kind of spared from that because of, you know, certain actions of one particular member. I didn't have to say anything. Everything was like kind of all out there.
yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I get where you're coming from, and kind of the same on the, yeah. Sometimes they speak for themselves, unfortunately, you know. And now, like, for instance, my son and I were apart for a bit because I lived in Saskatchewan. He was back here, and it felt hard sometimes to be able to connect with certain part, you know. But like now that he's over 18, he actually lives here in Montreal, and we see each other more, and it's so much more amazing now because there's nothing in between. It's just him and I. And instead of worrying every time you see, is this the last time for, you know, something happened? It's so nice to be able to just sit down and have a meal together like normal father-son. He goes home and I know he's going to be back in a couple of days, or, you know, there's no stress to it anymore. Because you can fight over them under 18 and use it as a tug of war, as somebody just said, but they got a long life to live after they're 18 when they can make their own decisions. So sometimes you got to look at the big picture once again and make sure you're not shooting yourself in the foot over a temporary situation.
You got it.
Yep. So they're kids. They're humans. They're not property. They're not the house. They're not the car. They're not the beach house in the summer. They are actually human beings.
And above all, they're not stupid.
Yes, they're smarter than we think sometimes. Yes. They are very true. Very true.
That is a very good point.
Wow.
It's actually coming in really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in good.
River Ben Longbow says too, my parents divorced but stayed good friends, so that was much easier than my peers going through the same. Very true. And Power Ranger is in. Hello. Welcome, Power Ranger.
Power Ranger 201-55442.
Is it the Red Power Ranger?
I will see for you. I'm not sure. That's one of my first questions I've ever been asked here. I see him in a blue shirt here.
Oh, he's the Blue Power Ranger. All right.
There we go. So welcome, Blue Power Ranger. Great to have you in here. I didn't know there was 3. That is absolutely awesome. I love that kind of stuff.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
Bob's laughing at us.
Of course he is.
I think he's laughing at me for doing the whole number thing. Yeah.
Well, he's sending me text messages. He's like, "All right, take a deep breath, relax, calm down." I'm like, "What? Do I look a little tense?" He's like, "A little, ... a lot." Yeah, you look like a statue. Relax.
He's doing a lot. He's a lot more relaxed than when he first got on. I think he's doing quite well. I'm actually quite proud of him. So we're used to it by now. And like I say, we never planned to do interviews. This just started by a complete fluke last spring. But I think we're just both, like, I was in business, Xenia has a psychology degree, and I think between the two of us, we just kind of came up with this way of putting people at ease, and lots of people are nervous when they first come on. And it usually takes about 5 minutes. I find 5 minutes is kind of the number, and then you start to see them relax more and that. And you've actually been doing really good. We had somebody on last year, there was 2 of them, and they were awesome. But they were nervous. Oh, my God. It would be like, so you guys are really into that? And they'd be like, yeah. So you like what you're doing with all that stuff? And we're like, what do we say? Oh, yeah.
That was my fear. That's I would just clam up and be like that.
You're doing great.
But that's okay, and it's our job to make you and our guests comfortable and have the conversation. You know, so we're
and one of the things that's really helping is that I can't have that YouTube window open, so I can't see how many people are in here right now.
Well, I want to say hi to all 5,800 people in the chat.
No. But that's great because we kind of wanted that sitting on a couch feel, you know. That's why I don't like calling them interviews. It's more a chat, you know.
Yes.
In front of 5,000 people, but chat.
There's not 5,000.
No.
Yeah. If there was 5,000 here, you would see it on my. Oh, you can't see my face right now. That's right.
No, I don't see anything.
Yeah, that's right.
All I see is my face staring back at me.
You wouldn't even have to see my face. You would know there was 5,000 people in here.
No, very cozy today.
No, it's a nice group, a nice chat, lots of great things. People are really enjoying you and stuff like that. So Power Rangers saying your videos are awesome, and I couldn't agree more. Like I say, it was just funny how we met by a complete fluke just at the same time, and there was you and I always forget his name because I just met him the same night, Pallets and Scrapper, or
Scrap and Pallet Man?
Scrap and Pallet Man. You guys were the 2 new ones that I met that night. And I'm always on the lookout because I want interesting people. I'm always kind of searching because it's nice to have people in that you know, but there's also, I want to bring in people that are new and people that are not, because we got to expand our horizons.
Right.
Because otherwise there's too much of the same gene pool going around. There's too much pawing and tearing at the same people. And that's not good for them either. They feel like they're being gnawed at like meat, you know? So I feel it's our duty is to keep trying to reach out and meet new people and bring them in. So welcome, Val, and welcome, Rise Diego, by the way. Great to have you in here. Also, Darth Nimulus, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly.
Welcome back. They were here at the beginning of the stream as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes that's why Xenia sometimes looks after the stream. Sometimes I do, back and forth. So
mostly I do.
Mostly you do, it's true.
I always ask for compliments.
Truth be told, yes.
Never too ashamed of that one.
Yes. So gracious, I might add.
Humble, yeah. Humble was the word that you were looking for.
Coach CJ says, great interview, Moose Scrapper and Pusa Studios. So,
it's a great introvert. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it is funny because I just read, like, we only started live streaming when we hit 1,000. March 29th was the day, and as you said, like, we were mostly behind the lens, you know, doing photography and video, and now all of a sudden you have to say something. The only thing that is easier, I think, is because there are 2 of us. So that's at least you can squeeze the knee or something. You know, if you don't all of a sudden get lost. So I do have admiration for people that have like live streams alone.
Oh yeah,
most definitely.
Because it's definitely to follow the chat and to be able to find the subjects to talk about when you are basically talking to the camera all by yourself. It's so hard. Like we have hard time vlogging because of that, because we can't talk to the camera. So I can't imagine how it is doing that alone. It's really hard. I get lost.
And Gil Skill says Pusa Studios is very gracious and considerate hosts. You're too kind, my friend.
You guys are absolutely.
Oh no, thank you. Well, I mean, we don't want to do it like a script. I don't want to sit down. No, I was told in 1992. We don't want to do that. We do a bit of research. Xenia will do a bit more than me. I try to keep it loose because I feel if you go too far into research, you start too far in a topic, and the people that don't know you don't get a chance to know you. And second or not, it's just nice to talk with people. We can still cover a lot of subjects and just feel like we're sitting back, like chatting away.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be too formal. So, and you're absolutely doing great. So I would not worry about it. So
we had some questions. Can we go to questions?
Yes, definitely.
Right ahead.
Okay. So the questions kind of were asked all throughout our chat. So they're going to be from different times of our conversations, different themes. Mike Albert asked, what products have the most precious metals when you guys were talking about metal hunting or recovering metal?
Old ones.
What would be in the household, for example, to look at if you're looking for recovering precious metals?
Wow. It's a good question. It's one that a lot of people ask, but it's also very hard to answer because as technology advances, plating technology improves, and less gold is used in modern electronics. So if you have older electronics in your house, that's where you would find the most gold. Old computers, if they have like the ceramic CPU, projection screen TVs, they have a ceramic DLP chip in it, and a digital light processor that's got a decent amount of gold in it. That's as far as best places to find gold in your house, that's what I would say. I mean, if you have access to other things, like old lab equipment, I mean, some of the best gold finds that I've had were like old oscilloscopes. But I mean, how often do people come across those?
Yeah.
What other metals are there except for gold that people could be looking for that would be worth anything?
If you're looking to make money, you're gonna make much more money in steel.
Yeah.
I mean, steel is the bread and butter of scrapping. It's everywhere. It adds up fairly quick. So steel, aluminum, brass, copper, wire. I mean, who doesn't have a drawer full of old charger cables, or things like that? Those cables. I mean, it can be anywhere from 75 cents to $1.50 a pound, depending on where you are and how much your scrapyard is paying. But I mean, that stuff adds up over time, and with scrapping metals, the name of the game is quantity.
Yeah.
Right. Do you pick apart the things like TV or computers yourself, or do you bring it somewhere? How do you do that? How do you retract gold from there?
Personally, I take it apart myself.
Okay.
It's for me, it's enjoyable. It's like a de-stressor. So to take something apart, and normally I have something right next to me, which I've got a whole bag of like circuit boards and stuff like that are usually nearby that I'll just rip things off slowly. But things that I have around the house, if something goes bad, I'm not going to pay the dump to dispose of it and throw it in the landfill. I'm going to take it apart and have the plastics recycled if they're recyclable. The circuit boards, I'll pull them out and sell them to the scrap yard near me so that those get recycled as well. I'll pull off anything that I want to recover the precious metals from and go from there.
When you do that, in a bigger scale, do you think about the impact of waste into our earth, so to say, as a general? Like, do you have that in mind when you're doing it? Because kind of it is in a way you are, sorting it out, recycling. But do you have that in mind when you're doing it?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, one of the things that we run into, especially in like gold recovery, is sometimes most often you have to use acids. Sorry, and that's something that you need to know what you're doing before you get into it, so that you can neutralize the acids, get all the toxic metals out of there that you can, and make it so that it's not harmful for the environment. There are some things like when I recover gold from IC chips. So like all of these big black things on the circuit boards, there's a process called pyrolysis, where you're burning it to a point where it's got to be hot enough where you're burning off the VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, so you're not hurting the environment. Because if you're doing it right, there should be no smoke.
Okay.
Right. So it's things like that. I mean, I could do like the wet ash method, which is this horribly dangerous and toxic to the environment method of gold recovery from IC chips. It's very easy, it's very cost effective, but it's not worth it in my mind, because I mean, number one, you can kill yourself with it. I mean, sulfuric acid is pretty damn dangerous to breathe in, especially if you have to heat it up.
Right.
And then once you're done, you're stuck with spent sulfuric acid. What do you do with that? So I mean, I really take into consideration, my carbon footprint, my impact on the environment with just about everything that I do.
Yeah, there's a Hike with Mike says that I took apart the computer and he got zapped by the stored power in the computer battery.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you about the effects, because that's what's a big problem going across in South Asia in those areas, is a lot of our electronics are being sent over there and being done the sulfuric acid way, and the environmental devastation going on.
It affects us over here. I mean, you affect the environment in one part of the world, it's going to slowly work its way here.
That was exactly what I was leading to with it. And I mean, it is a catastrophe. And I mean, like, do you feel that North America should be pushing harder to
keep the waste here?
Yes, keep the waste here and inspire people like you guys, or businesses like you guys, or businesses to open to do it the way you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, there's no shortage of companies in this country that can process electronic waste cleanly, efficiently, effectively. So I don't know. Honestly, it kind of blows my mind that, we're actually paying to send shipping containers to other countries where they're just going to like dig a hole and set it on fire or do some other thing to it to get a little bit of precious metal out of it.
Right.
And pay them to do that, where we can have it done here much safer.
Right.
I mean, you're going to countries that don't have environmental regulations versus a country that does.
Yes.
It's just common sense that I think is lost in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, it's a disgusting event that's going on. I mean, it's.
And what bothers me a lot is, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of a sensitive subject, just like your troll thing the other day.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of videos on YouTube from people, and I'm not saying this to like make a stereotype or anything, but a lot of them are based out of India, where they use the wet ash method, and they make all these videos about, I mean, tons and tons and tons of material that they're processing, and they'll show this wall of like all these 55-gallon barrels full of the spent sulfuric acid, like it's a trophy, like it's something they're proud of.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you're not wearing respirators, you're not doing anything to filter anything. It's like you're causing so much damage, and you're encouraging other people by showing them how much gold you're getting from all of this stuff using this method.
Right.
It's like, so I'm watching these videos, and yet my DIY Daddy channel, I posted a video on how to make a wooden coffin candy dish for Halloween out of pallet wood, and it got flagged for removal because it was inappropriate.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Oh, great! Your hotspot ties into mine. Great. Yeah. I mean, it is unbelievable. I agree with you 1,000% on that. Like, that is so. It's so out of whack into everything. I mean, what you're talking about, is a great example of what's happening a lot on YouTube right now. And that's I don't even know what to add to it. I don't know. That's pretty much sickened me right there.
It's stuff that just does not make sense. It's illogical. And you kind of have to wonder who's making these decisions. Who's,
Well, I guess I can say it now. He passed away. My cousin that left me the house, he worked in Ontario most of his life for the Durham Region Dump, which is the dump for the Toronto metropolitan area. And when we were a kid, while he had that 11 loads of stuff, they had a big warehouses, of course, like most city dumps do. And most of the stuff that came through there was stuff that was in perfectly good shape, but it had to be destroyed for insurance purposes. And back when I was a kid, 10 years old, and that this racetrack back then that cost $80, he'd bring home 4 of them, literally 4, and just bring them to, like, I had track running all the top of my upstairs of my house for that simple reason. And my mother, those collector's plates, the Royal Dalton and stuff like that. I mean, those things were worth a fortune back then. But they wanted them there. They wanted them run over. They wanted videotape, or back then photos of it being run over, just so they could get the insurance claim onto it. Yep. And it was one of the most bizarre things to try and put when so many kids, and I don't want to start the We Are the World thing, but it's true. There's lots of kids that don't get anything for Christmas. Right. There's your answer right there. Give them the insurance money and have it donated. Like, why does it have to be destroyed? You know? And they would be taking them before they got through there. They'd be sitting on pallets. It's not like he was digging through the dump. It was a warehouse on its way to the dump. So, and then a D10 would have to finish it off. And that's what a lot of stuff that he had in there mixed with other things was stuff from there. He just couldn't, they would all try to grab what they could out of it. So, yeah, it's quite a world South Asia's doing that. It's horrible, but it's kind of North America that created the problem that South Asia's playing with right now. We're just as guilty, if not more guilty, for the wantful way we live. Because people say, oh, I wish my TV used to last like it did. No, you don't. Because you want another one in 2 years. You say you don't want to spend the money, but you do. Look at cell phones.
It's an excuse to get the newest, latest technology.
That's right. Because you
make a TV that only lasts 4 years.
Yep.
Because now the 4K Ultra is out.
Exactly. And now is the W this and the P that, and there's always a new thing topping the other. I mean, look at HDR, how quickly it came. 1080 was supposed to revolutionize everything. Really, it had a 2-year lifespan.
Right.
They were into 4K and then HDR and it's cell phones. I mean, I always buy because I have a good plan, but it's a legacy plan. And Canada's extreme. Like, we're like the second most expensive country in the world for cell phones. So if I wanted to get a new phone for in theory, $0, we all know you're paying for it, I would have to give up my legacy plan to get it. But I just have to go on what we call Kijiji here, is like Craigslist. And I can get any good cell phone that's 2 years old for $200 Canadian. It's great. It's not holding me back any from it. It's just, but that's the kind of society it's into. That's why there's such a flood of them, because everybody wants the newest, greatest, and then they're stuck with the other one.
Which is fine. Yeah. You want the newest and greatest? Tell you what, you go out and you get the newest and the greatest thing, but take your old thing and set it by the road so that people who scrap, who will recycle it and turn it into profit and help the environment, let them have it. Don't just bring it to the dump and say, all right, crush it with a bulldozer and bury it.
Yes, exactly. Phones, if they're stuck with something, guess what? Give it to a shelter. I'm sure there's lots of people restarting out that could use one to maybe get a job or anything like that. Yep. There's a use for all of it. So, yep.
What do you do in your everyday life, like within regards to sustainability and recycling? Are there things that you're doing as well?
I do in everyday life as far as sustainability and recycling.
Is there any special things that you're doing?
I mean, all of my trash gets separated from non-recyclables and recyclables.
Okay.
I guess I'm not.
No, you're on the right track. That's it.
Right.
And I mean, you do so much scrapping already and working with that. But just, your day-to-day stuff is that.
Yeah, like we, for example, reuse our food in a food way. For example, I save vegetable scraps for soup and meat, and and I freeze it up and I use it afterwards to make something out of it. So trying to use as much as possible to what we have, or if fruit gets started to look a little bit bad, well, I make jam out of it instead of throwing it out. Like things like that, which to me is also a way of recycling what you have already, because instead of throwing it out, although it is compostable, you're still using it instead of throwing it out.
And even if I have to compost something, that's still getting reused.
Yes, exactly.
Garden, it's, you know.
Exactly, but because we are in the city, that would go in a garbage, you know, and who knows what they're doing there with that there, but definitely, for sure. And I really kind of, in a way, take pride in it when we do that, because it is not only, you know, saves for the environment, but also it saves money too, which, you know, for having especially kids that probably need other needs as well, not just food. It's great to find these ways where you can save money and do something good at the same time.
You're saving money, the environment, and setting a good example for your kids.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I was getting to, that it does, I think, in a way, it raises a different generation of people, new kids or younger kids wanting do more for the planet, wanting to more for the earth. You can see already in their actions the way they are doing things, because we're trying, I think, to raise them in with a better thinking about it.
More aware.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family where we never bought Tupperware. You know, it would be the old butter tub or you know, some other plastic container that was bought at the store with food in it, but now we're reusing it for something else.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, everything got reused somehow.
Well, I mean, growing up in a small area, you're probably like me. You know, you didn't get to the stores all the time. It wasn't like there was even an option sometimes unless you had to go further away. You know, for us, for a bigger store, and I mean bigger, we're not talking Walmart, was an hour away to go to it. So it wasn't like you could just go and do it whenever you wanted. So it taught you. And I really think it's important you involve your kids. Like when we take things like, you know, like I said, with Christmas coming, they have to get rid of some stuff to get new stuff. And when spring comes and that, we don't do it for them. We let them help pick it out. Like I'll tell my daughter, like, this is the size of the box. Anything that doesn't fit in there, we're going to give to kids who don't have anything. And let her pick out what she thinks is the most important to keep and stuff like that. I mean, we'll double check in case there's something like an heirloom thing, you know. but it's important for them to be, oh, we're getting rated?
Yes, hashtag life raid. We are getting rated. Thank you so much, guys, and welcome all here. Thank you. That is so awesome.
Thank you guys so much. That's so cool to have you guys here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to our channel. We have Moose Scrapper as our guest tonight. Thank you for joining us.
That was really cool.
What does that mean?
Raid is when they come in from another channel and it's life raid.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's from Life with...
Life is ankylosing and spondylitis.
Yes, I can never pronounce her name.
We are so bad.
So,
wow.
We're so sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And she's saying hi.
You.
She's saying hi to you right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
You guys are
sorry
so
you have
sweet.
ankylosing spondylitis. That's a horrible lower back problem.
I feel bad now because I got the worst problem because I can never pronounce it. I feel like the worst.
And you just did it in 1 second.
I know. I'm so impressed.
We are so ashamed now.
Yes.
I was going to be a chiropractor, so you know.
You did it very well, and she's such she's such a sweetheart. I mean, that's so cool. Oh, Pamela, welcome as well. We got Ghost Mafia. Let me get you a wrench. I know you guys are just stopping by, but I'll still give Pamela a wrench. There you go.
There's also a link for Moose Scrapper if you want to check out our guest afterwards. And Canadian Drone Hub, hello and welcome.
Welcome, my friend.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That's great.
That was really cool, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. I'm still glad that I can't see the viewer count.
Our guest can't see the chat. He's a bit nervous. It's his first interview, even though he's doing fantastic. And I'm not being cute here. He really is. So he doesn't have the chat on. So we're just filling him in on everything. So it's actually been such a great conversation. I don't know what you're worried about. You're doing absolutely phenomenal. So you have nothing to worry about. I think you're all set for live streaming. So. Always just talk to, like, when you're on a live stream, just talk to people like you were talking to them face to face. And, you know, I find weird once in a while I'll go on my own and I'll sound, you know, and I'll be like kind of talking about things that are going on lately and that. And you kind of just, you almost fixate on somebody for a little bit, I think. Do you ever get that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll pick one out of the chat and you're kind of talking to them even though you're not naming them out. It's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of in my head, I'll say I'm kind of talking with Hike with Mike right now. And then it will pass down, I'll see another name. Go to them for a bit, and it's flattering when people come to watch you.
definitely. By the way, I wanted to mention Hike with Mike, which was interesting. We kind of had in the chat a bit discussion of different ways of recycling as well, and Hike with Mike is a lot about it and you know, recycling and composting. But one thing that I never heard of, what he does is he grows the beard in the winter and then he cuts off in the spring and puts it in the trees for birds for nesting. And
really?
Yeah, that's what I said. Really, but yeah, that's what he does. He was serious, and I thought it was such a great idea. I never heard of it. But it makes sense.
Yeah,
I heard of locks of love, but you know,
yeah, that's
birds. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I've never heard of that before. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, Coach CJ says, Moose Scrapper, you are doing a great job, my friend, like a pro. So.
And River Bend Longbows has his lady over at home, so now I gotta go. So
that's his lady over?
Yeah.
So yeah.
My woman is home, so I gotta go. Subbing, he's subbing you, and he's thank you, Pusa, and check you later. Take care, River.
And Mike's food review just joined us as well. This is awesome. And Jima Lolly says you're charming and a sweet guy.
Thank you.
Oh my God, he's blushing. You got him blushing, Gmo. You got him blushing.
Oh my God.
People connect with people who are real, and you're very real. You're a very kind person, and that's what people really gravitate towards. I've always said it that since the 2000s when they first came out with reality TV, and we quickly realized it was anything but. People have been craving reality TV, and that's what we get to finally give them now, all these years later, is through live streams. So that's why it's so important to be yourself. And, I mean, we made tons of mistakes when we started live stream. I mean, we were, sometimes still it's like an awkward mess at the best of times. But people love you for it. You can sit there and pretend it never happened and all this stuff. Run with it. They like you, they understand, and they have fun with it, you know? So, what is the future for your channel? Somebody had asked a while ago.
The future for my channel,
or channels, I should say.
Oh, yeah, channels. Well, the DIY Daddy channel, the future of that one is it's going to be the same. I'm still in the process of building that one up. I've only got about 4,000 subscribers on that one, and I'm trying to really diversify the types of videos that I put on that one. As far as the Moose Scrapper channel, my goal with that channel was to show people how to make money. And I feel that as far as the scrapping part of it goes, I mean, there's only so many things you can take apart,
Right.
And I'm approaching my 250th video mark. So what I'd like to do is start doing videos on other things, especially like eBay, more videos on, how to find the value of things on eBay, posting things on eBay. Because that is, that's a huge, huge way for people to, not only repurpose things, but to, declutter their homes, make some money to pay their bills. It's another one of those situations where everyone wins. So I'm hoping to do more of that on the Moose Scrapper channel. So that's where I'd like to see that going in the next year.
Yeah, because now you really look like you're going full force back into reviving your not reviving your channel, but like really pushing it. It's kind of like a new season, I guess you would call it. And yeah, you seem
that's
like you're
Bob's fault. That's Bob Gill's fault. So Bob Gill, if you're still watching, that's your fault. You're the one who. I was kind of like lost it for a while, but you kind of like reinvigorated me back into it. So thank you for that.
Well, we all say thank you to him for that. And you got a lot of new fans here tonight. People really are gravitating to you. G. Lelly said he's even cuter when he blushes. I couldn't pass saying that one.
Yes, I even copied that.
Yes.
So I don't. And he's hiding behind the cup.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
And Lala Lydia's life. No, we haven't. It's welcome back. Great to have you. And no, we haven't done them yet, so you haven't missed them. Really looking forward to your selfies. Tara Cope, what's going on? Nice to see you here. And Bob Gilskill says you're welcome, friend. I really gravitate towards Bob as well. Like Bob and I really think the world of him. Like he's that really amazing attitude on here. And I see him time and time again. He's about the bigger picture. He's about not just himself. I see him put so much into his circle of friends and stuff like that. And I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mike's Food Review. Thank you so much for the donation. You didn't have to do that. But thank you. That was very kind of you. We got more questions on this.
Yes,
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, let's go to more questions.
So we talked about retracting golden medals. There was a question about what do you do with the gold that you recovered? Because obviously there's little bits and pieces. So what is the next step after Big Keg was asking?
I hold on to it. Gold and silver are things that historically they always go up. They don't go down. So that's whatever I recover from electronics, I refine it, melt it down into a little button or a little ingot, and I hold on to it. A lot of people sell them. I don't. I choose to hold on to it.
Huh. That's interesting.
Do you have any plan for it? Like a wedding band for your daughter? I love the look.
I know. I'm not even looking. I'm not even looking because I'm giving the same look as he is, and it's not even.
For another 20 years at least.
Yes.
Right?
That was priceless. The look was priceless.
Oh man, how can you do that to the guy?
Well, that's, but she's 45.
Went from blushing to white.
Yeah. I get you. I get you.
I mean, it's kind of like, a nice little nest egg. You never know when something, might break, or, being a homeowner, if I need a new roof or something, it's nice to have something that I can, just bring to, Maine Gold and Silver and say, here, I've got this, I need cash for it. And all right, here's, 2% under spot or whatever. And there I go. I'm all set.
If you had the time, though, can you sell it to a place where you'll get more money than just like a local vendor, like more, like you can get more of a cut for yourself?
Oh God, yeah, eBay. It's ridiculous. One of my goals actually for the Moose Scrapper channel is to get a propane furnace. There's another scrapper out there. His name is E-Waste Ben. He's out in Australia. Love this friggin' channel. He will melt down the scrap metal that he gets, just copper bars. You can get like 10 times what the copper's worth just by melting it into a bar and selling it on eBay. It's amazing what people want to spend money on.
What?
You can get like $3 worth of copper, right? 1 pound. You melt it into a bar, a rough looking bar, doesn't have to be pretty. Then you post it on eBay, you can get like $20 for it.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So, I mean, he's got videos on, him melting stuff down. I mean, like, some of my favorite ones to watch are like 3 bar of copper from a microwave. So you watch him take apart a microwave, put all the copper out, and then he melts it down, pours a bar, and that's it. He's selling it on eBay. And
that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's eBay is, especially for like gold recovery stuff.
Right.
It's kind of unfortunate, and I don't really sell a whole lot of gold recovery stuff on eBay because I don't sleep well at night if I were to do so, because people overpay so much for it. One of the things that you can pull out of computers are like RAM sticks. All right, it's this little stick on a circuit board that has some gold fingers on the bottom. All right. Now you need about a pound of just the trimmed fingers to get 1 to 2 grams of gold. Right. So $40 to $80 worth. But people are selling that stuff. They're selling like, maybe an ounce for $40 of those trim fingers. It's exceptionally overpriced, and people are still buying it. I don't understand why, but it's a big thing. So
I don't know what to say to that one. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I had a sign business here for a couple of years in Montreal, like repairing and making signs for storefronts. And we had a lot of aluminum, of course, taking down old signs, scraps, and steel and metal, of course, from the other part. And I used to talk to my partner. I'm like, why don't we just save this stuff and sell it like once a year? Cut it up. And every time I come in a week later, it would be out for the scrap guy sitting there every time. He loved us.
Oh, yeah?
Loved us.
Yeah, you were putting groceries on his table.
Yeah, and I mean, because it was pure aluminum. I mean, you know, nice cuts of it and everything else. Lots of angled L bracket and stuff like that. And yeah, and, you know, if we had saved it for 1 year, you know, make it worthwhile the trip, or twice a year, whatever it took, enough to fill up our van when it was, you know, we could put a full or a good load on, then take it, or even rent a truck from U-Haul, a pickup. And yeah, that's what I thought too. We would make a lot of money, but every week I come and it'd be gone. So.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a friend who's an electrician, and he saves all of his wire scraps every 3 months. He will bring it to the scrapyard, and he'll split it with his journeyman as like a bonus. And it's like between $2,000 and $4,000 every 3 months.
Wow.
So
that's really good.
That's
it's
crazy.
Not chump change. So
my father was he was a truck driver when I was younger, hauled oil, and then he was driving dump truck for a while. And I went with him one day. We're at this quarry, and I found some yellow wire. You know, I was like 10 years old, and I started pulling it. Well, they had done a blasting job there not that long ago, and I got all the wire from it, probably about 1.5 miles long of this copper. And didn't know as a kid. I mean, it would have been nothing. Back then, you would have nowhere to take it even if you wanted to. But today, if you could strip all that down and bring it, like, I mean, yeah. You'd have a couple of dollars behind you. It's funny. Just
at least.
Yep, but 30 years ago, on top of that, a rural area, if you told anybody to sell it, they look at you like you got 3 heads. Like, you know.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I growing up in Fort Kent, I never heard of scrapping metal.
No.
Never. I didn't even hear about it until that whole, you know, incident, you know, 6 or 7 years ago when I had that computer to get rid of.
Right, exactly.
You know, that's actually a thing. You can actually take metal someplace and get paid for it.
Yes. It's hard to wrap the mind around, you know. Like, I remember going home on holidays one time and they finally got recycling bins. And, like, you know, everybody was talking to me, like, some of them was like they thought I'd never heard of it before, you know, and they were all excited about this. Yeah, it's cutting your garbage down and we're, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I've seen it before. And they just thought it was the cat's meow. They couldn't be prouder to do it. So, and that's a small town. You watch them walking all proud with their bin there the first couple of weeks, you know, like they can see them lighting up on their way out to the garbage and that. And yeah, no, it was, but it's amazing when recycling came in, how much it took away from your garbage that you throw out. I mean, it cuts it down by 3/4.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I would say on average, I guess, around somewhere in that area, 1/2 to 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 sounds fair.
And it makes you think about it. And then when you're thinking about it, you're more likely to change your shopping habits to buy things that come in recyclable containers.
Yes.
Or have more recyclable materials.
Definitely.
Very true. For example, a big thing I find, and now they finally are looking into that, at least here in Montreal, is paper cups for coffee. You know, everybody always goes and has their coffee, but how many paper cups are there every day? You know, so what they're doing here in Montreal now is they are thinking of actually charging you 25 cents more if you're purchasing it in a paper cup, encouraging people to come with their own thermoses.
Yeah.
You know, which is one step closer to eliminating them maybe altogether, because it is a huge waste, the same as it used to be with plastic K-cup containers, which was a huge waste since it's plastic altogether. It's not even paper. Before they actually started to push more for reusable ones and so on. Sometimes I find as much as we are trying to recycle things and like we understand that and are more conscious maybe than it was years ago, at the same time there are more new things that keep coming up that we use that are adding up to the general waste, you know, on their cells together. And the packaging. Yes. Especially at Christmas time, I can only imagine, like, just comparing to the rest of the year, the packaging itself is crazy. For the little tiny chip or, you know, SD card, there's more packaging.
And the wrapping paper.
Well, yeah. And like, I reuse wrapping paper and all of that, at least, you know, you use it a couple of times, but all the plastic boxes and all of that, it's like, wow, like, why do you need all that, you know? It does get crazy.
Gary Foster says, my ex's father used to go to Burke's and buy silverware sets and then smelt the silver and keep the fancy walnut boxes. He died with a lot of money and a basement full of fancy lined walnut boxes.
Oh, my.
That's awesome. That is really awesome.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. Like a big box chain store, and I did some work with them when I had my sign business, was IKEA. In the way their whole business plan is amazing for their size and still the environmental consciousness they have, and they actually do live up to it. And I got to see a lot in behind the scenes and that. And like all their warehouse is dark pretty much except for the lights following as the forklifts go past. You know, it lights in front of them. Their whole stores are heated, ran off of solar panel energy. They use reclaimed wood, or they use their own forests that they're growing now. And everything is used, like the main wood is grown, the hardwood is made for the more expensive furniture. The sawdust and all that is used to make the cheaper furniture. And like the way they do their meals and how things are reused and stuff like that. It was quite interesting seeing it. Just how much they're actually one of the big stores that are living to that kind of commitment of you can be big and still be environmentally conscious. And their solar panels are gigantic, by the way. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, in some instances, it may cost more, but think of all the business that they're gaining from all those people who are very environmentally conscious themselves.
That's right, 100%. Like Montreal's a very liberal city, so they go to stuff like that. They're, that kind of attracts them more. So it's a good sales pitch on top. It's good business, like you're saying, yep, on top of everything else. So, no. More questions?
Oh, yes, we have more questions. We always have more questions. Let me get to it. Andy Marshall was asking, what are the tricks for pulling pallets apart and getting the nails out without damaging them?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, I've dabbled with pallet rippers, which is basically a big steel pry bar that it has like two teeth at the bottom and a pole going up that you set it on the 2x4 section of the pallet, and you gently pull up the whole plank. Those work okay. They can be costly. They range from $20 to $50 for a pallet ripper. But by far the best route that I've used is just using a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw. And if you stand the pallet straight up and cut the nails, so you have like a 2x4 section, and you have the flat piece of wood on there like that. If you run your saw blade right down the middle of it and cut those nails, and then just use an awl or another nail and tap the nail head out, you've got a perfectly good piece of wood that has not been cracked, and that you can run it through a planer if you want, because you remove the nails. It's fairly quick. You can take a pallet apart in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's a really good idea, because a Sawzall, it's the perfect tool for that. Like, I agree with you on that one. That's a really good way of doing it. I never thought of cutting it that way before. So
that's a great tip. Do you have a tutorial on your channel about it?
On the DIY Daddy channel, yep.
Oh, there you go. I just put the link in the chat, guys, so go check it out. Okay, next question. That's how Roll asks, do you have issues of theft by scrappers in your area? They will break into an empty house and strip the wiring and plumbing or anything else they can get cash for. Or, for example, where I come from, that used to be a huge problem with railroads, that they would pick apart railroad in the middle of it,
The ties,
yeah.
Wow. Thankfully, no. I don't have that big of a problem. I don't have any problem really with theft. I've moved around a lot in the past few years, from Sanford to Portland, Limerick, now to Westbrook. I've not had any problems with theft, thankfully. But then again, I keep all my stuff in a garage that's locked. So
that's like here a couple of years ago when that rush was on for copper, they went and stole the plaque from World War II Veterans Memorial. There's always somebody has to ruin it for everybody,
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that you start hearing about. And
all they had to do was go on Craigslist in the free for the taking section. That's all they had to do. Because every single day you can go to that website and find all kinds of free scrap metal that's legal. I don't understand the mindset.
Right.
Then there is a question from
wait, just one sec. Sorry, I just want to address this one. That's how I roll. We had a guy trying to steal a motor from a hydraulic loading dock, and it crushed him and killed him. Exactly.
Wow.
Amazing where greed can get you, eh? And that's not the only story like that.
No.
There was a couple of guys the other year killed trying to steal railroad tie, trying to unbolt a train, come along and killed the two of them. Like, you know, they're like foxes over a carcass, you know.
Yeah, like, is it worth it?
I saw a picture a couple years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago when copper was like over $3 a pound. It was a couple guys who tried to remove the copper wire from a live pole and got fried to death. They were literally burnt right to the ground.
Unreal.
Wow.
Unbelievable, you know.
People get into the extremes sometimes and not even think straight, that's for sure. That's crazy. The early kit in says, I used to sell aluminium cans until the place we went to started cheating us. What I want to know is why more states don't buy plastic bottles. Yeah, is it better? Is it plastic bottles better than cans?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I know that a lot of states here have a bottle deposit, so they will buy, you know, any kind of beverage container pretty much. But as far as, you know, paying for plastic, that I don't know. I wish more states did that. And if they did, there'd be a lot less going into the landfills.
See, us, we return them all at stores. They all take them, and they all have to take them, and there's a price value on plastic and cans.
Right.
So I'm not really. That's why I wasn't quite sure about that one, how to answer it.
Yeah, it's different than from states. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, or some states, I guess it varies more. So there's that famous episode of Seinfeld where Kramer drives over to Michigan in the postal van. I still think of that anytime I think of recycling cans or bottles. That comes in my head.
Well,
so.
the biggest cheat here is that in some places you can actually bring back the cans that you bought at the dollar store, but at the dollar store they don't charge you those 5 cents on top of deposit. So you basically
they do here.
So that's really good. Okay, and then we have one more question here, and. Addicted to profit. Oh, Scraper Steve said that you helped him refine his micro scrapping. That was a compliment. And Addicted to Profit was asking and saying, guys, if you want to make extra money on eBay, hit thrift stores, flea markets, swap meets, and garage sales, which made me ask how to know what to look for.
I mean, really? Everyone's got something that they know something about. Everyone's got an interest in something. So if you walk into like a Goodwill or something, and most people today have a smartphone, so you go in and you just pull up the eBay app or, you know, the internet app, and just, you know, you see something that you're kind of familiar with, look it up, see what it's worth. I mean, you just slowly, you know, walk your way around the store and, you know, find things that kind of catch your eye or stuff that you know a little bit about. And that's really all it takes to get started. And once you start doing that, it's amazing how much, you know, the knowledge kind of snowballs. You start, you know, looking at one thing, then there's something next. You're like, oh, well, what's that? And then you look that up and you learn a little bit about that. And it's a matter of just, you know, getting used to and being comfortable with stopping to look at something and find on your phone or on the internet how much it's worth.
I guess consciously thinking about it as well, because as we started the conversation about it, lots of people don't even think about it or are too lazy.
I think a lot of people get inspired by shows and they just jump into it, and everything is valuable. And they should, like you say, kind of get to know an area as a start, maybe. Yeah. So they can gain a bit of knowledge and then spread out. And I'm sure a lot of like the big TV show guys that they watch.
Right, and those TV shows, in my opinion, are horrible. I mean, I don't like to talk bad about things, but I mean, like Storage Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, that show, they planted stuff in there. They inflated values.
Yeah.
So it made a lot of people think that, oh, I can make a whole bunch of money doing this, or if I found that, it's worth a whole. No, I mean, it's not necessarily going to be that way.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, they were going by their they hear the numbers, but they're just going by what the guy is saying. Like, you know,
Right.
oh, I can get 300 for that. That's a 400 all day long, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So it's not like it's been figured out and put on the market. And so it's easy for the show. He can say whatever he wants, and they can always put it back and say, are you sure it's worth that? You don't think it's worth more, you know, to get the numbers up? And yeah, then it creates a chaos for nothing. And some of those guys that were on the show were complaining later that it is costing them a lot more to do anything now because they're the ones that help inflate the prices. And they you know.
So a little less flea market flip and a little bit more Antiques Roadshow.
Right.
If the show has a lot of like, wow, and you know, a lot of like suspenseful cliffhangers and little things, stay away from that. Instead of the boring like BBC kind of like, well, we have this thing which is, you know, from the Victorian period. You know, if it's really like, if it seems like it's going to put you to sleep, it's probably the better information.
Yes, exactly.
That's
life advice right there.
I love BBC roadshows because of the people that get so surprised when they finally get to hear how much how much it's worth. Like I just love watching their face expressions. And it's not
sensationalized. And I'm just saying, it's not sensationalized U.S. hype media. I mean, I'm not picking on the U.S. just because it's where a lot of it comes from. It's that it's worth 78 pounds, and it's like, oh, I never thought. You know, it's not like it's worth $10 million. You're getting rich today. You know, it's more just a normal evaluation onto it. So that is such a good way of putting it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a sound quote.
Oh, so it's a great suggestion. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's agreeing with you.
So what is next to come? What is your next project? You talked about the future of your channels, but maybe you have a practical project on hand that you are working on?
Right now, not so much. Right now, I'm just, I've got a whole bunch of scrapping videos that I've done that I'm in the process of editing. I'm, kind of like scheduling the release dates, to go until like the end of January. Then come spring, this year I totally gutted my garden area, and I'm going to be building a whole bunch of brand new raised garden beds out of pallet wood. So I'm going to have some videos on that. That's going to be a big project for me this spring. But as far as the Moose Scrapper channel, it's going to be more scrapping, a lot more eBay stuff, and hopefully I'd like to be able to get to a point where I can either afford to either make or purchase one of those propane furnaces for smelting metals, and then I'll be doing that.
Nice.
Which would be fun.
That's nice. Yeah, that would be a really big change. That's for sure. a different chapter for the channel as well.
You want to see him look shocked?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with one right now. I want to thank you for your time. Do you realize it's almost 10 o'clock for somebody that was nervous about talking? I was waiting to do that for the last 15 minutes. I was waiting for the right time to tell you that. So you were worried about doing it, and I got to tell you something. You were such a gracious guest, and you were such a pleasure to talk to tonight. I cannot say that enough about you. You're interesting, you're kind, you're friendly, all those great things, and it's just been nothing but a pleasure.
It's only because you guys are very good hosts.
Oh, no. We can only...
You're a very interesting guest. And as you said, there are so many things that I think we share that is definitely was a pleasure talking with you, for sure. Hope we can get in touch again.
Yes, I don't want this to be the ending. I hope it's just the beginning to keeping in touch. And that's how I roll. Says it was a great show. Thank you all.
Anytime.
Spencer's stalked by the time. Recycle Dudes giving you 2 thumbs up. See, it's all coming in now. Coach CJ at Moose Scrapper, great job.
Thank you.
I think you went over a lot of people. So, and you definitely won us over. Darth is saying, I see in Europe it's 3:57 at night. Exactly. So you got some people who stay up pretty late to catch you. So.
Holy jeez.
Yeah. So I don't think you have too much to worry about doing live streams, my friend. Gary Foster, thanks so much for a great show for Studio Moose Scrapper. Southland Paranormal, awesome. Said that already in the chat about you a while ago. Lots of them have been saying it pretty much all night. So you are a really interesting person, and like I say, once again, really, really a pleasure to talk to.
Thank you very much, and thank all of you guys out there for watching. That's.
I think you have a lot. Head me. A recycle dude says Moose Scraper head me from scrap. Hello.
Recycle dude. Oh my.
There you go. You won them early. So I want to thank you. Oh God, and G Lolly that was saying about you blushing says the grandma in me wants to pinch his cheek.
Oh jeez, I get that a lot because of the friggin' dimple.
I must say she's not so grandma. She
exactly.
Say, so.
Yes,
go check her out.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of fox in that grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, she's laughing. Yeah, she's so awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really, really amazing. The time flew by.
Yes.
I'm sure for the chat, they're saying the same thing in the chat as well.
Definitely.
As well as for us. So it's really cool. Thank you so much.
And Brandon Rush says, hey there, Moose Scrapper. So he's saying hi to you. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. And we'll, like I say, we'll keep in touch, okay?
Awesome. I look forward to it.
You have a great night. Thank you. Oh, yeah, you can't see us. We're waving at you. You take care. Have a good one, my friend. Bye now. Be well. Oh,
you too.
Oh, that was just awesome. That was so awesome. What a great guy.
Yes, and his social media channels, by the way, he just jumped on Twitter as well, so you can go and follow him and be one of his first Twitter followers. Can go check him out there, and I'm going to add his DIY Daddy channel link as well. There, been posting it in the chat, but we'll add it in the description as well. Awesome, guys. So many great ideas, so many things that we can, guys, implement in our everyday lives as well, you know, which is a great thing.
Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, this is another example of what we always wanted to do here, was just meet people from all over, hear their stories. And I mean, he was just so interesting and so kind with his time. Some interesting info: when my American Legion was being built, they collected newspaper and cloth to recycle, and they got the money to use it towards the building fund. Exactly.
Yeah, like I remember in Soviet times, we used to bring old newspapers. Like we collect old newspapers and we would tie them with a rope, you know. And I remember carrying them to this place where you could because we didn't have recycling as a garbage system, right? So there was a special place where everybody just was bringing newspapers to recycle.
It's, I mean, needed times. I mean, look at World War II, when metal all of a sudden became so valuable, you know, for building shells and stuff like that. Necessity brings out those kind of those efforts. So, let's see here. Nomadic Bike, Moose Scrapper, he is awesome. I agree, Nomadic Bike. I really impressed with him. He was, because like I say, we just met a couple of days ago, so I hadn't came in with too many notions on just a couple of videos. I've seen him in the chat, and man, he doesn't disappoint. He's a really, really kind person. Let's see here. Scrapper Steve, Pusa's awesome. Well, thank you so much. You're awesome. It's people like you guys that make it awesome. People like the guests we just had. Awesome people like you in the chat. Like tonight was once again, such a respectful. I'm so proud of that. You know, great questions, respectful to each other, and that. Maybe I can stay for all of the European edition tomorrow. Everyone can join.
Oh,
definitely,
course.
yes.
Everyone can join. We got to add that to our. Thank you for saying that.
Yes, the only reason why we did that was because it was actually Karen Somers at the time saying, because they were staying up so late watching us all the time. It was kind of a thank you to them for doing it. Custom Cards, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's always nice to have you in here. Going to check out, yes, definitely. I haven't even had a chance to check out his DIY channel, so I got to do the same as well. So I believe Xenia had taken a peek at it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Definitely some different stuff from his base channel for sure. So check it out.
Yeah, so we're going to send them over. So we'll check selfies. Juliet Miranda, what's going on?
Hi, Juliet. So good to see you. We're just at the very end of our stream for tonight. Just about to send people over.
I'm just going to mention, because Juliet is in here. Her and her guy helped us get some amazing guests for next Wednesday. We're going to have Michael Price, a writer and producer, best known for his Emmy and Writers Guild Awards for The Simpsons. co-executive producer, ABC's Teacher's Pet, and little things like consultant on the Simpsons movie, wrote the acclaimed Lego Star Wars special, and has a hard job at Lucasfilms writing and producing Lego Star Wars franchise. And he's also he also co-wrote and co-produced the Bill Burr series F is for Family on Netflix. So we cannot thank her enough for that. Her and her guy, of course, the both of them. So definitely be showing Juliet Miranda some love because she is so awesome, and we can't thank her enough for all that help. What time will we be streaming tomorrow, Spencertainment? 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, Xenia wrote it there already. Yeah, Every Single Dude's one of my favorites, except my kids. My oldest is 21, and my other two, they kept passing down. I got my son into it, then he drove me crazy with it. Then he passed it on to our middle son, who passed it on to my daughter. So I get to watch it now and then. So
I'm going to whisper to you that Andrew knows by heart a lot of Simpsons episodes. Like if you switch off the sound, he can actually play by play a lot of them. A lot.
Yeah.
That's what you get for watching them over and over and over for 3 generations of kids. So it's definitely our household staple. That's for sure.
Yes, that is true. That is true. But you know what? It is an awesome series. It's had longevity, that channel's. H-Top Music, hi, how are you? Great to have you in here. Oh, Aerial Views, oh, great to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. We were just about to shut things down for tonight. We had an awesome guest. Hope you guys, if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. He was really, really amazing. And help him out. Come back and leave a comment so that, and if you can hit the like button, that'll help him help that video get seen more and help introduce him to more people. He was on a bit of a hiatus, but he's getting very close to 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool. And a really, really, like I say, we never knew him very well. Just met a couple of days ago by chance, thanks to Bob Gilskills live stream. But wow, he didn't disappoint.
And thank you so much for joining, Solo Journer. Hope you see you back. We have our interviews 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern with awesome guests every time. And Friday coming up, we are going to have Sonny Greenwich Jr. on. He's a Canadian living in Ireland and used to be a member of a band Boot Sauce in the 90s. Have had a Juno Award for it and is still playing all around Europe. So we're looking forward on Friday to that too. So hope if you're new to our channel that you can join us as well.
That's how I roll. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. Like how you guys fixed technical difficulties at the beginning, and it all worked out awesome. Exactly. You know, you got no other choice. You got to do it. So, you know, make it happen. It was really nice having you in here tonight. It always is. Each and every one of you. The early kit in. I don't think they have a set time, but on average, they seem to stream for about 3 hours. That's right.
That's true.
Yep, you're pretty much dead on. Yep. Couple minutes, you know. Thank God we're not one of the major networks. We get a bit of leeway if we stay on a couple of minutes longer.
Yeah.
But we guys have the link there. If you have hit the like button already, if you want to head over with us, we're going to go visit Passion for Hunting and Fishing, a really awesome Canadian channel, a really nice guy, knows lots in the community. And if you can copy the hashtag from Pusa with Love and paste it in, and visit everybody, get to know some more people, show them a bit of love. And next time could be your live streams. We always pick a new one each night. And Brandon Rush, well, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. We both appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And it's a pleasure having you in here. It's always great to have great channels come in. More great channels, the more it grows with great channels. And you're definitely in addition to that, without a doubt. So I want to thank you guys so much for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave the promo go for about 3 minutes or so. It's always voluntarily, but I hope you guys can join us over with at Passion for Hunting and Fishing and hang out, maybe meet some new friends, maybe find a new live stream you haven't known about. And if you already know them, it's a great way to just show them a little extra love. It's all about paying it forward. Thank you so much tonight once again to our guest. Thank you to all you amazing people in the chat. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Channel shoutouts. Everybody's welcome. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Pusa.